Yo, it's Montel Ice Griffin, 92 Olympian, former two-time world champ. You rocking with Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but they don't know jack.
What's up, guys? This is Sean with SB2 Tactical. What's up, guys? This is Sean with SB2 Tactical. Checking in on my Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but they don't know shit.
What up? And you are right, Sean. We do not know shit. This is a podcast where we think we know everything, but we don't know shit. But our guests tonight do know shit. But before we get to our guests, I want to talk about, just briefly mention that last week on, I believe it was Thursday, we celebrated Black-owned beer called Moors. We were at some place downtown where they don't really like black folks to be. But I forget what it's Bounce Rooftop. It was a great time, and beer is great. Beer is phenomenal. It's like Stella times 3. You know, it's really smooth, and it kind of sneaks up on you. So it's only 5%, but you know, it's a tall boy. It's like 16 ounces as opposed to 12. So you drink one, kind of sneaks up on you a little bit, but it's really good beer. But we had a really good time at Bounce. Warren Sapp was there. Got a chance to chop it up with him a little bit. He will be on the podcast on YouTube. So hurry up, go subscribe if you haven't. All right, shit. I'm tired of saying that, but yeah, please go subscribe if you have not, because a lot more pods are coming, but they will be strictly on YouTube, and some of them will be pop up. So you will only get a notification if you are subscribed. So enough of that. Let's get to our first guest. Our first guest is a very dear friend of mine, and we went to school when we were little tykes. She took a liking to the violin, and now she's like DJ Violin. She charges $500 per hour. That's how cold she is. But anyway, we're going to bring her in. She's going to bless us with some tunes. So but before I bring her in, let me bring in the other part of the All-Star team. How could I forget? My man who knows every single stat from every single team since the 90s. My man, JB.
What up?
What up, JB? My fault, man. I almost forgot that you were here. Cause
man, it's all good. It's all good. I just want to say, for those of our viewers, happy Father's Day. For those that pass, to those that apply. Miss Sandra got me with some new drip, the new Justin Fields Father's Day jersey shirt.
Oh,
so with the new hat, it's a little tight. I'm gonna switch real quick.
Yo, Feek, you gotta be on hit. No homo.
I do. I'm gonna get that right, but shout out to moms and everything for keeping the drip tight, always representing Chicago. Hey man, real excited to hear Miss Edith, man. Like I've heard some great tunes, man. Like she one of them people, man. Like come on,
big cold. Like since we were kids, she
never knew that, but I had the pleasure of hearing a lot of her concerts, man. Hey, look, and I'm excited, bro. Like let's jump in. Before we jump in, I just got to say to us Bulls fans, 38th pick, second round. I just had to throw that out there.
Bulls fans. We'll talk about that later. Let's bring in Edith, DJ Violin.
Ooh.
Edith.
What up,
Hello.
Edith?
Hello.
How you doing?
I will get started then.
You gonna play us a little music, huh?
Oh, you gonna play your own
you.
intro? Wait a minute. You a bad girl if you playing your own intro now. Hold on.
I'm gonna start the ditties now.
Hey.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. With my big toe.
With your big toe. All right now.
That was a little fake
all right.
sound that I did just now.
I like it.
That was hot. That was hot.
I wasn't sure if it was over with, so I kind of hesitated. But yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
You. It was all Chicago artists as per the request. We had a little Common, a little Kanye, a little No Name, whom I adore. I think she's great. And some Chance.
No Name. Who is that?
Do you not know No Name? She's amazing.
I heard Chance at the end. I peeped the Chance.
Right.
So I when you switched from Kanye, I didn't know who that was in the middle, but I was like, okay, that's Kanye.
Right.
You know that's Chance. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Keep them guessing. Keep us guessing.
So tell them how long you've been playing violin, because I already know.
Well, how'd you get into it? Like, I want to know everything.
Well, I've been playing since I was 2.5, and it was Sesame Street. I was watching Sesame Street and I saw Wynton Marsalis. So I asked my mom if I could play the bugle, because I called the trumpet the bugle back then, and she was thinking about my teeth, and she said no, and I had to wear braces anyway. And then I saw It's Like Perlman with Grover, and Grover was my favorite Muppet. And I asked if I could do that. My parents were like, "Yep, okay." So that's how
Grover
it all began.
your favorite?
Grover was my favorite because
I
he was
like
blue and he was friendly. Huh?
Grover or Super Grover?
Super Grover.
Because I like
Both
Super
of them.
Grover.
Super Grover, yeah, he was on some next stuff. That was like some super Urkel stuff.
Hey, we was a little older then, but
Right.
So, like, what different genres do you play aside from hip hop?
Classical, rock, jazz, Latin, whatever people pay me to play, pretty much. That's what I do.
Okay.
So like when I do clubs and lounges, it's usually chill music, like Buddha Bar and stuff. But if I'm in a club, there's this stuff called EDM. So I've had to do that. That's not my favorite.
What is EDM? Elaborate a little bit. We're familiar.
It's I think it has electric dance music or electronic dance music. That's what it is. It's not my favorite, but that's what the kids want to hear.
Is that crossover, what they call techno and trip hop? Is that like that little crossover?
I wish it were that cool. No, it's not.
Okay.
And I couldn't give you an example.
It's not cool?
It's not cool, right? You said if it was that cool.
Yeah, if only it were that cool. Yeah, no, it's not. So
okay. So what kind of venues have you played around Chicago? Well, actually around the world.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Well, I was in China a couple of years ago, and that was with a band. So I played with
How
a group.
was that?
That was awesome, actually, because they had us in a 5-star hotel. Whenever we travel with this band, we've been to Italy, Hawaii, China, and then we go to really cool places in the States, like out in California. And I know that Hawaii is in America. I understand that, but I'm just saying, that's a long flight, a very long flight.
A world away.
But yeah, we always stay at these really nice places, and the band is really awesome. All the members are great, and it's just a good time.
Okay.
Oh, but you asked me here. I have played in Chicago. I played at Orchestra Hall, Harris Theater, a whole bunch of clubs downtown. I played Carnegie Hall in New York a lot of times because I lived there for a while. Broadway. I used to play on Broadway when I lived in New York, Phantom of the Opera. And I've done some Broadway shows here in Chicago, which is nice. And where else? You just forget when you're traveling all the time. And people think it's glamorous, but you have to consider you travel, you land, then you go to a sound check. You're in a cold place. Sometimes you might be able to go to the hotel first. Sometimes you don't. Then you have to play a show. Then you go back to the hotel, hang out, drink, and then you got to go, the next day. So,
how do you juggle doing all that traveling and being a mother?
I am blessed with, my dad passed a couple of years ago, but I'm an only child. And so my daughter, thank you. My daughter is an only child. Only child to my parents. And so they just love hanging out with their granddaughter. And my daughter loves hanging out with her grandma now. So it's very helpful.
So grandparents keep the child when you're traveling in.
When I travel, yes.
Okay. I got it.
You're like, so the answer, Edith, can we distill it down? The grandparents take care. Yes, the grandparents do. I do not have to get childcare.
Well, that's
so
good.
I can rest easy. When I'm out, I don't have to worry about anything.
Okay. Well, that's good. So what do we have to look forward to? What's coming up for you?
Oh, I just did a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to be playing with DJ Sadie at Millennium Park, August 30th, 6:30 to 8:30. It's part of the summer music series, and I just really got into composing this year. So I play with a group I play with the orchestra, the Chicago Sinfonietta, and there's a portion of that called the Residence Orchestrate program, and actually DJ Sadie runs it now. So she did this thing called the Gimme Shelter mixtape, and we worked with kids. I can't remember the name of the group right now, but they get to work with professionals, and they learn how to record things, video and audio. They help them with their spitting lyrics and stuff like that. And I got to compose music for a trio, 2 violins and a viola, for that mixtape. And so some of the kids rapped, and I got to compose music to go with the tracks that they rap to. So I'm really excited about that. Gimme Shelter mixtape. I don't know when it's going to come out, but check out my website, djviolin.com, and Instagram is DJ Violin, and I'll be putting it up there when it comes out.
Okay. Awesome.
Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful. Edith, we got to ask. You said you started at 2 years of age. How did you get into the electric violin? Because those of us that know music, there's a big difference.
Absolutely.
A huge difference.
That's a really good question. So when I was in grad school at UMich, this is really random. I was the only violinist with a mariachi band. That was my elective for music. And so I started improvising because I had to improvise. They didn't have parts written out for me all the time. And we would all take solos. So then I started doing jazz at University of Michigan, and I would go to Detroit, and there were some great jazz players at school while I was there. And then I moved to New York, and then I moved back to Chicago, and I started playing in clubs in New York. Then when I got back to Chicago, I started playing in clubs here, and the electric violin was just the next what do you call it? Evolution.
Evolution, okay.
Since I'm playing with a DJ, it was just easier to have an electric violin. And you can't see it, but I have a pedal. So when you heard those weird sounds coming out, Terrence, that's a backstage joke. But when you heard those weird sounds, and I can sound like a guitar and stuff, that's my effects pedal. And so that just opens up the gamut of things that I can do.
Gotcha.
Wow. Yeah,
that's totally awesome.
That's dope.
Edith, I'm going to play a little clip real quick. I want you to tell me a little something about this. A lot of people, they may not know, but I want you to tell me a little something about this. That sound a little familiar?
Now you know who Chicago is. That's Chicago. So I played with an electric violin female group called the Cover Girls Violin Show, and we were in residence with Chicago out in Vegas at the Venetian, because they go there every year except for COVID, and they have a month-long residency there. And so we got to go there and perform with them, and it was great. It was great, and that was one of the songs that we played every night.
Absolutely. I had to go back into the mental Rolodex. Like, got you.
See, you do know stuff.
I do. A little bit.
You know a lot of stuff. You know a lot of stuff.
Most people, but like the crazy part about it is most people that don't know that group Chicago or know that song will remember it from the movie Deadpool. At the end of the movie Deadpool, when they were showing the credits, they were playing that song. So it's like when he was reminiscing about his girlfriend, they were playing that song Chicago. So
you totally tricked us because you said you ain't know shit about Chicago. Hey, you know everything.
Wait a minute. Sometimes, the wheels is always turning. You got to, All right. Got it. Right. Golf clap. So how was that, Edith, with you performing with like a international world-renowned band? Like,
they were the warmest people. They were so kind, and they're so talented. And it turns out a lot of them grew up in the church, or at least a couple of them, because we would go backstage afterwards and go into their rooms if they wanted something tweaked a little, or if they heard something else that they wanted to hear. And so they would just go in on the piano, and I felt like I was at St. Sabina or Apostolic. It was absolutely amazing.
And they're not a British band, right?
Nope, they are all from Chicago.
All homegrown, right? Correct.
And I mean, the personnel has switched and changed and stuff, but the original members all from Chicago. And I think there's three of them are originals. 3 or 4 are originals.
How
and
old
maybe
is
2 of them.
Peter Cetera now? Is he like 75?
Well, he wasn't in it because he left a while ago when he got his own solo career. So,
But he didn't come back for a reunion or anything.
I bet he did if they'd had a reunion. But we unfortunately didn't get to do anything.
But you
like
got to
that.
remember, T, we talking late 70s, early mid 80s, 81, 84. Like that's when they were really, popping. So we was little tykes,
Right, exactly.
I wasn't born. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, now we the same age, Terrence.
Man, why you spell the beans?
Oh,
I guess all this gray didn't give it away.
well, see, I color mine, so I didn't see anything.
I was about to say you must color yours because we the same thing. We the same age.
Or maybe she just got that Angela Bassett thing going on. T, don't disrespect Edith like that.
True. Let me fall back.
My mother does say that my father's side of the family are Dorian Gray people and that we just don't age.
Oh, wow. For those that don't know Dorian Gray, the portrait, yeah.
Exactly. That ages and but we're not evil. We're not evil people.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Throw that on out there.
So your next gig is what? Because we want to come support, like JB said.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, my next gig is me leaving. I go down to Tampa on Thursday. No, Friday.
Yeah, we're not gonna be.
Y'all not come to Tampa?
That's too short a notice.
I'd love to.
You gotta. I need a little bit more, like 30 days, maybe 30, 45.
30 days, 45 days in advance, though.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Give me a week.
COVID prices are changing,
Yeah, things are changing. My next gig, the next open gig that I know about is August 30th. And that's the one that's going to be at Millennium Park. But I'm going to plug myself again. Go to djviolin.com because I do repopulate and update my tour dates. So.
Please go to djviolin.com.
That voice is hilarious. Go to djviolin.com.
You're like, please go there so she can stop saying djviolin.com.
No, you can say it all you want to.
Hey, say it 10 more times. And I'm going to say it 11. He going to say it 12. That's how we going to do.
Well, he's just kidding. Don't say it 2 more times. Don't do it. But Edith, this has been dope, man. This has been great. It's good to see you.
You as well.
Still playing the violin and still killing them. Everybody loved it in the chat. Alex, Maya Curry, is that
Maya? Is that Maya or Maya? And Alex Acevedo, yeah.
And Damon Coleman. That's
Damon Coleman.
Those are my friends.
Huge fan. Damon Coleman, huge fan.
Right.
Thanks, Damon. Thanks, Haj. Appreciate it.
Haj. That's Haj Curry?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
She goes by Haj. Mm-hmm.
All right. Got it.
I just want you guys to know I really appreciate this. I appreciate you having me on the show. And Terrence, I know it's been a little bit of a kerfuffle getting me on the show.
How do you spell that? What's that?
AUFUFLE? I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
We're going to call that an Edithism.
Yeah.
Edith, there we go. But it's really sad because I didn't know anything. So I was talking to Terrence today earlier and I was like, so how does this work? I don't understand a podcast. Are people going to see me? And he was like, oh, poor dear. He's like, this is how it's going to go, Edith. So if you can imagine if he's like that, what my daughter is like. When I ask questions about technology and stuff, I feel sorry for people who have to put up with me.
Alex Acevedo chimed in. I'd love to see Edith live. I'm going to give her
thank you, Alex.
So tell them.
Go to djviolin.com.
There it is. And August 30th.
August 30th at Millennium Park. Yeah, that's going to be fun because you can come out, dance, drink, hang out, act crazy. Well, no, maybe not act crazy. Sorry. I don't want to promote that.
Act responsible and have a good time.
What did you say your Instagram was again?
DJ Violin.
DJ Violin at DJ Violin.
Violin.
All right? Go follow her, Alex. Follow
Absolutely.
her. Well, your friends probably already follow you, but
I do.
So,
Yes,
Edith, let me ask you this real quick. What, being around the world, what was your favorite venue?
That's a good question. Okay, so do you guys know about Talia Hall here in Chicago?
Yes.
We played there. That's how I met No Name. That's how that all started. And that's through Matt Jones, who's an amazing arranger, orchestral arranger here in Chicago. And my father had just passed, and we were doing New Year's because he passed December 19th. And then we were doing a New Year's show. And that was the most special show because the music was amazing and it was like a healing balm. It was just amazing. So that would be one of my favorite shows. But then when I played Chicago, the reason I love Chicago so much is because of my dad. And that song that you played is the one that he used to sing to me. And so there were just like a slew of really special concerts around that time.
Was that at the Chicago Theater, or where was that venue?
Chicago. That was when we were out in Vegas.
Oh, out in Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, but we played.
That was their month-long review.
Right. Exactly.
Gotcha.
But we played them first, which was kind of our audition at not the United Center. What's that thing that used to be called the Rosemont Center or Rosemont Horizon?
Allstate
Arena.
What's it called? Allstate. We
Arena.
played them at Allstate, and it was sold out. So that was really. I've done a lot of really amazing concerts, but those were really special.
Two venues that stuck out in your mind. Love it. Both of them here, Chi-Town.
Right?
Yeah.
But wait, I should tell you this really quickly. I don't know if I can go over here. Hold on. So, remember I told you about No Name?
Yes.
But do you see that?
Is that a Grammy nomination?
It's a Grammy.
Oh, a Grammy?
A Grammy certificate. And that was from Kirk Franklin, playing on Kirk Franklin's album.
Oh, wow.
Edith.
Amazing. That was absolutely amazing. That was also through Matt Jones, the amazing arranger here. He has done some really awesome stuff, like PJ Morton, stuff like that. But that's a pretty exciting thing for me.
Hey, that was awesome. Monumental and well-deserved.
That's dope.
Wow, right, T. That's dope.
Super dope. So
now you don't feel crazy about the $500 per hour, do you?
I get it now, but I can't afford that. You know, I'm like $100 hour dude. Yeah, I can't afford that. So I just catch you when you play a little tune on Instagram or something. But hey, everybody follow her at DJ Violin on Instagram. Go to her website, djviolin.com, as she said. But Edith, this was dope, man. So congrats on all success. Hope for continued success.
Yes, continued blessing. Absolutely.
Yes.
And we will holler at you later. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Okay. No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, T.
Yeah, man. That was dope. That was dope.
Hey, I know that's her craft, but I could have went for at least 10, 15 more minutes. Hey.
So could I, especially since it's free.
Hey, she was right. She was jamming, bro. She was jamming.
Yeah, man. I can't afford that $500 an hour. So shit.
Well, you know,
all the little free stuff I get, I'll take.
We're gonna try to get the hood rate, you know.
The hood rate.
We're gonna try to get the podcast rate.
I don't know if you got one of those. I don't know if you got a hood rate.
Look, it might only be 6 minutes, but we'll take it.
Hey, man, we're going to bring in our second guest. But first, he's a hip-hop artist and a producer. He got some crazy beats on YouTube, man. And he's also the music director for TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies, some of our people.
Gotta plug that. Gotta plug the Tape Never Lies. But yeah, he's a hip hop artist and producer, and he has some crazy beats. Let's bring him in. CK, Cool Kennedy.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? Can you hear me? Is
What's
Yeah,
up,
we can hear you, brother.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, bro?
live and direct? Got to get the mic right, but you know.
Yes, sir. That's what you do. Yes,
Anybody
sir.
ever told you look like Suge Knight?
I heard
Oh,
that.
no.
I heard that. matter of fact, when they had those little roll calls, you know, when they were doing the movie, they did some shooting out in Chicago. A few people had told me about that. They were like, "Hey, you should go out." I was like, "Man, I'm not tall enough." How tall was he? Like 6'2"? I'm only like 5'7", 5'8". No, clearing 5'8".
Man, they could have put you on some
But you know the camera angles be on the slant, man. You know that work.
Hey, you're right. You're right.
You look just like him, man. All you need is a cigar.
Hey, see, I'll be doing the cigars on Instagram. I'll be part of those cigar groups. So I could have did it. Yeah, you're right.
There you go. And just tell somebody, you know, I ain't hang Vanilla Ice over the balcony, you know.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't kill Biggie. I didn't.
That's it. There you go again. There you see. We was all fun and game until you brought up some other.
That's deep.
Know.
That's too deep right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, you know,
That's
hey,
a little deep, but
this video, you know, come on over to death row.
All right. No, but it's funny you brought that up because that was something that I actually thought about when they were doing that roll call, and I was like,
"Oh, for real?"
Yeah, I really thought about it. I was like, you know what, it's possible. But then I was something in me, like the dude who got it, he did all right. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whatever
he
happened,
he was definitely believable.
Yeah, he was, and that's not even really my character. Like, I'm not that much of an actor where I could be like, this is not my character. I'm real cool, relaxed, hence the name. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting to see. Like, I know my zone and mainly is music, man. Like you guys aforementioned. So
absolutely,
if I would have had a chance to be on the mixtape or the soundtrack, that would have been dope too. You know.
Hey, as long as you're part of it.
What artists have you produced beats for? Notable artists that you
know, the funny thing about that is like YouTube opens up the world, especially when it comes to YouTube producers. I feel like when I first started making beats, like when I was in high school, and that was before YouTube was really like a thing. You know what I mean? That was in like 2007. I really started working on FL Studio, making beats, and my inspiration to make beats was Ninth Wonder. You know, he used FL Studio as well, and I was just like grasping the software and like, what, you could do this, you know. And as time developed, I started seeing how like on YouTube there were producers that just made beats and just posted them, and I was like, that's crazy, because I went to school for music and audio production at the Art Institute in Schaumburg, and they're closed now. But man, like, one of the things my teacher had said, I asked him about making music and the kind of the business, and he was like, I told him about the YouTube scene. He was like, but you post music and you're not getting any credits, or you're just doing it for free. I mean, once it's out there, right? Like, how do you really get credit for it? And that kind of changed the game, because usually you had to showcase artists, your music, in a studio session, or you would develop songs with artists privately. And, you know, YouTube kind of opened up the world where it's like you post the beat and there might be 1,000 people that see the beat or hear it. Some of them might download it, copy it. But how many people are going to do something with it or reach out to you? That's even fewer. So like that kind of like changed the game as I started seeing it develop since like 2012, 13 up until now, where you have some of the top YouTube producers that have just stuck with YouTube, and they've ended up, you know, collabing with people. But mainly I just stick local. Like, a lot of my stuff has been local or people that were in other cities. So I've been working with everybody from France. I work with a guy from Amsterdam, Chicago artist, Elgin artist, where I'm from, like 45 minutes north of Chicago. So really I try to like minimize like the people that I don't know, but I mean, I don't know everybody, so I don't want it to stop me from moving and shaking. So man, I work with a lot of people in the past like 10 years, you know what I mean, where I can't say that I know everybody, but I've definitely had the collabs and got the credits as far as on people's mixtapes and stuff like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So did YouTube become like your virtual resume, so to speak?
And exactly, you know what I mean? And it came like it became that for a lot of artists and a lot of producers. And that was the platform that really jumped off till you had things like BeatStars.
Yeah.
You had other platforms that say, hey, you know what, there needs to be more of a niche website for these producers. But BeatStars now, they take cuts and everything because obviously money make the world go round. But those industries is interesting to see, like the internet beat production. Now in 2020, me and T Nick were talking about rap and in the past and what it's come to today. And I feel like that's the first thing that changed with music is the production aspect of it. And you remember like in the 80s and the 90s where the producers were kind of the forefront, you know what I mean? Where the DJs were kind of the forefront. And as the artist became the center stage, the role and the appearance of importance of the producer became less and less. The appearance, and in the industry, we all know that the producer without the beat, man, especially today, where you at, So,
but that's funny you mentioned that because like I'm an old school hip hop. So when you say Eric B and Rakim, we knew what he did. Jam Master Jay, you know what I'm saying? Like we knew what those cats did. Hell, even as recent as Timbaland. We knew how important the beat person was. If you went back down to the South music, we knew what Beats by the Pound did, for all that good Southern flow from Master P and what was my man's name? Juvie and them.
Juvie,
yeah. So like just delve into a little bit about like how is that changed now? Because now your production is becoming more forefront and your beats is almost like the sidebar, right?
Yeah, I'm basically it's a showcase to like what you can do. So I kind of even from that aspect, I kind of went into detail about how the YouTube beat maker world changed the industry essentially. But now I kind of fell back from that because I wanted to work and focus more on my home studio, and I do a lot of audio production for people and working with artists and developing specific songs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like a lot of the projects have been local, and even as far as Chicago and as far as Indiana, working with artists. And I kind of like that lane a little bit, I kind of took the back. I want to be the guy behind the scenes a little bit more. I feel like, there's money to be made in that area, and there's a lot of artists that aren't getting developed that also need that development aspect. So development, we haven't been really putting too much focus on that in the industry. But I feel like with a little TLC, no pun intended to that group, but with a little bit of TLC, a lot of artists can develop their craft and go a little bit further. So much of the industry has been like, you a rock star for 1 second and then you where you at in 2 years, you know what I mean? So longevity, the commercialism is a part of the beat game now. So like making beats for commercials and things like that. There's a lot of platforms that provide that information online where, you can get a placement for Coca-Cola, you can get a placement for Adidas, you know what I mean? Where a lot of those opportunities weren't open for a lot of younger producers and producers that really didn't have a name established in the industry. And there's a lot of producers that aren't big on their charts that are making money in that industry, and there's money to be made in those little 5-second beats you hear on that commercial. You know what I mean? Like it's just a beat. It's not really attached to any artist, but somebody's making money off that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Doritos commercials, 7-Up commercials, right.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of beats stealing?
There are, and it's the YouTube wars. So like, you got to flag it. You know what I mean? Like, there's been people that have like taken my beats, and that's the thing that my teacher was talking about. Once it's up there, it's up there. You just have to have the team to be able to see it, and you have to have it registered in order for the.
How do you even police that?
It's really the algorithm on YouTube. So you have to release it or digitally distribute your beats. So like they're not just posted straight onto YouTube. They go through digital distribution. You release them and you get the number for them. You know what I mean? Like you make it official on the release under your name.
So then once YouTube has that, then they basically know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So then it's like in their
Knowing
system,
how much
whatever
is
you recall.
reproduced.
The algorithm will warn you about it. So like, say if somebody creates a page, I've known that producers have created pages, fake producers create a page and pick and choose beats and then try to say it's theirs and resell it. So there's like that shows you, man, it's deep, it's grimy,
it's
out
super
there.
deep, right?
It's grimy, like, you know, there's the industry, how it was set up, and there's the sharks out here, you know what I'm saying? Like that song, Rock Superstar. It's a lot of sharks out here, you know, that there's the center circle that's actually producing and making the music, who love the art form, who can do it. And then there are the people who are right outside there that are like kind of like the hangers on, that are there present with those artists and, you know, maybe even protecting them as, you know, security or whatever. There's all those people that make that industry work. And then there's those people who are next to those people that say, well, look, I got 5 pictures with Waka. I got 5 pictures with Gucci. You know what I mean? Like they're putting it on their profile and they're getting a lot of people. I can get you a placement. You know what I mean? I got to say that happened to me once where it's like, just send 200 and I got you on this placement. When I was young, first started, they get a lot of producers like that. So up and coming producers, beware about those little, the game is real. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of sharks out there, like they say.
Dang, that's deep. You feel like, you know, you show your passion, your heart and soul into this craft, and with one click of a button, somebody can take your whole energy, your whole like.
Yeah, if it's not digitally distributed. So I would push. That's what I try to tell artists. You know, get your ASCAP, your BMI ready. Then that's your account established, and then you can digitally release it on major platforms. And that way, when it's released, people hear it, it's attached to your name, and those algorithms pick it up, you know, so it can be protected.
So your work on TTNL is bananas. How did you get into that? I know you're an avid Bears fan. So.
Oh yeah, see, and that's the thing, man. Like where worlds collide, like it's a funny thing. I've known Phil for over a year now. But the first time I reached out to Shane. You know, if you don't know, Tape Never Lies, they break down the Bears tape. They focus on all the current events of the team. I'm a Bears fan myself. I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Elgin, but I've been a Bears fan for a long time. And when I first I'm telling you, just looking up Bears stuff, like highlights and stuff like that, stumbled on his page. And I'm like, he was cutting down the film and like, look, this is what's going on. He's showing behind the coach angle, not the angle you see on broadcast. That's from the side.
Right.
He had the tape. He had the tape where you could see behind the line and you could see people messing up. I'm like, I knew there was something else going on with this team because I love football. I play football. I'm a lineman, so I have a different perspective of the game. I was D-line, O-line too. I played running back when I was younger, but like I have that aspect of the game where, you know, the average fan isn't watching for those parts. They're watching for the quarterback and the wide receiver and
the highlights.
Yeah, the highlights. And I like the game to that level where I'm like, yes, finally somebody's picking this apart. Where those average blog boys, that's why we made that song Blog Boys. The blog boys are just going after the highlights and they're basing their decisions on why things are going wrong. And their premises is off base. So like, man, I was going through all his tape and his film, and I'm like, you know what? He did his little jingle for Bears Hour Live, and I was like, that's so dope. And I was playing it back. I was cleaning the house or something, and my daughter, you know, she was 2 at the time. She was singing it back, and I was like, oh, that's catchy. You know what I mean? With my 2-year-old daughter singing it, so I was like, you know what? Let me do a little remix. And I was like, you know what? I should send it to him. You know, just whatever. Just let him check it out. And he contacted me back. Shane contacted me back. And then Phil got on it. He was like, man, where you been on my life? Pause. You know what I'm saying? So, and we just been at it, man, doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be coming out with a little mixtape. I remixed some of his tracks that he had done before. You know, he was just recording on a little phone. And I'm like, yeah, that's dope for the phone, but we got to mix it a little bit and hook it up, you know, and we've been doing new songs. So we're ready for the world on that one. We're going to do it the right way. I've been trying to get him on this BMI, get everything official, you know what I mean? And line it up just like I mentioned before.
Okay. All right. But that's all good, man. Let's talk about these Bears for a quick second, though.
Yeah.
So, is Justin Fields is he gonna be able to compete for the job, or they just insist on sitting him down?
You know, he's already competing. You know, they got that on tape too. They know what he can do. They know what he's capable of. And right now I'm afraid it's politics. You know, they signed this guy. He's a vet. He's he's earned his stripes, his NFL stripes with the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like he's a capable quarterback.
Mhm.
You know, he can get you downfield, you throw some slants, he can move the chains. You
I
know,
do too. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
I think he's a little more than serviceable. JB was always hating on Dalton, though. Dalton is not a bad quarterback.
No, see, when you say hating,
You always I can pull up the tape when you
you can definitely pull up the tape because what I'm
wait a
telling
minute.
you is,
Hold on. Let me bring in JI because I know JI remember when you said he was trash.
I'm glad you brought that man up because I'm going to take his words. I'm glad you said that because Andy Dalton is slightly more than serviceable, but he's not the sexy pick. JI, don't we always say that? He's not the sexy pick. It's like,
what's up, fellas?
Eat in my restaurant. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. He's not terrible. Cool Kennedy, what's up, man? Holla, what's good? What's good?
What's going on, bro? How you been?
I'm chilling. I love, man. Thanks, guys, for holding it down, man. I love the Justin Fields pick. I agree with you, Cool. I definitely think that he's competing now. They know what he can do. I don't know if you throw him to the Wolves right away. By fourth game, I think he's playing regardless, win or lose. We win 4 games, great.
The Lions game, that's a good barometer for him right there.
Yeah, if we're 4-0, great. If we're not, he's going in regardless because at this day and age, you know, it's no more Aaron Rodgers sitting behind a guy. But then again, Aaron Rodgers was sitting behind Brett Favre. Andy Dalton is no Brett Favre. So they brought this guy in. They didn't bring him in not to play him. Now you have an actual, you know, you can, man, bring this guy in 3-4 games in. I'm okay with that. I absolutely love it. What's up, Bullets? Shout out. I can't see them not playing them ASAP. I'm more excited right now about some of the preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's gonna play. I think the Bears play Buffalo.
They do. So
they do.
I'm glad you brought that up. So CK, I'm gonna bring you in first. We all saw the Kansas City Chiefs a few years back with a 12-4 record with a Pro Bowl caliber Alex Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to say that Andy Dalton can turn into Alex Smith, but we don't know if we have a Patrick Mahomes-esque player in Justin Fields, and we won't know until that time, right? So why throw him to the Wolves a little bit more prematurely to you have to, because we got two sides here. We got the fan side and then we got the business side. And in between those, two people's jobs are on the line. That would be the head coach and the GM. So you're going to get pressure one or two ways, from the fans or from management. So to me, that's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? So let's say Andy Dalton, let's say we get to the Detroit game and let's say we're 2-2. Or no, I'm sorry, we're 2-1. Do we pull that trigger prematurely? Do we wait it out and see, you know, how his progression is? Do we wait for Andy Dalton to get hurt? Because that's not so dissimilar to what the Miami Dolphins did with
Why you just use air quotes? Why use air quotes?
Because I don't ever want to say somebody's getting hurt. That's disrespectful.
Right.
And they're not really hurt. It's time for this guy to come in. So this guy might have to sprain his ankle getting out the shower.
And CK, you just mad at him. We knew Ryan Fitzmagic was not hurt. He was fine.
Yeah.
But it was time for game 7, week 7. It was time for Tua.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
That's a hard thing because say we're 4-0, and then dang, what reason do you come up with to take them out? And it's like I think, the reason they got him was they didn't know who their quarterback was. They didn't know Justin Fields was going to be available. So to me, it was still a smart decision. Like, he's there, you pick him up. He's a vet. He's made the playoffs. He's a playoff caliber QB. He's never had a defense like Chicago defense. And there are some question marks in this defense coming to this new season. They got a new coordinator, and what's going to happen? There's a missing cornerback where you don't know who's going to fill those big shoes that he left behind. That I'm still sad about that one. But
Marcus Trufant.
And
man, come on, dude.
He's a vet. I'm not going to talk down on him. I'm not going to talk down on that, man. He's got his stripes in the NFL, so
absolutely.
But man,
he a true vet.
We're gonna miss Kyle Fuller, man. He's gonna tear it up for.
Yeah, but he can't fill them shoes, man. He can't fill them shoes.
But like, to answer your question, if they're 4-0, I feel like I ride with Dalton. If they're like 3-1, 4-0, I ride with him because there is no pressure on him.
Thank you.
He's a future.
That alleviates the pressure of anything.
You save him for a year. You want people to be learning. He's smart enough he's the quarterback that can sit out a year and be even better the next year. You know what I mean? He would have been great. I think he'll be great this year if they start him. But why do that? You know what I mean? We've been down that road with the whack QB and Mr. Longneck, or what's his name?
Mike Glennon.
They took
Napoleon Dynamite.
6'8".
Man, they call him statue. You know what I mean? He just stand in the pocket like a statue. But like, they took him out, rightfully so. But then you got this guy who's more talented than him come in, and he's just not ready. His tools ain't sharpened yet. So like, we seen what that did. If there's going to be a future quarterback and you have a veteran, you have to, like you said, alleviate. That's the right word.
Alleviate. Thank you.
So Fields can't even compete for the job. Nagy said, "Well, he's not gonna compete. We're stuck on our decision. Dalton is gonna be the starter, at least going into LA. Dalton is gonna be the starter." I'm glad he said that. At least going into LA.
And that's the first game. Think about me and you talked about that, T. Nick.
Yeah.
That D-line. Oh, man. You want to put a rookie QB in front of them?
Why would you? That's like sacrificial lamb. Like, why?
I said at least not LA. That's what Nagy said. And I agree with that part.
Yeah.
I do agree with that part. Yeah. Aaron Donald is a confidence killer.
Yeah.
If Aaron Donald got a hold of Justin Fields, it would be pretty.
He gonna get a hold of Andy Dalton, and you about to say?
Yeah, he is, but Andy Dalton is vet.
It's Aaron Donald. What are we talking about?
Hey,
a lot of people have gotten a hold of Andy Dalton.
That's why you want him to go out there first, and that might be the reason, like you said.
Right. Hey.
Yeah, so now I get the air quote. I get it now.
Yeah. Last year, though, I think the Bears were like 3-1 when they pulled the plug on Nick Foles.
Yep.
I mean,
they put the plug on Mitch for Nick Foles.
They shouldn't have did that one. They shouldn't have did that.
I thought it was the other way.
No, Mitch was starting and they pulled the plug. Mitch was on like the shortest leash ever.
Okay.
Like he threw like one pick and was like, nope, get out.
Yep.
But he was not a Nagy guy. Nagy never wanted him. Remember, Mitch was drafted under the John Fox regime, of who John Fox didn't even want Mitch Trubisky.
Which is
so wait a minute. Let me get this right.
Go ahead, talk about it, CK, because that was a problem from jump, right?
Yeah, that was the problem. It was always off. Like, one coach comes in, then another quarterback comes in. It's staggered. It's not cleaning the slate. New coach, new Q. They've never been in that situation. Now it's technically still that situation where you have the same old coach from a few years.
Absolutely.
But technically, we're going to start new. And I think this situation with a veteran Q, he goes in first. This coach's last chance. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if you don't
which is crazy because 2 out of his 3 seasons as a head coach, he's made the playoffs. Which that's gonna,
like they talked about that on TTNL, where it's like a lot of people don't believe they're on a short leash.
No, little false currency.
Yeah. They're not on that could be true. Me, if I was running an organization, this would be do or die year. but you know that might not be the reality because it's politics in the game. You know,
year before last, he was the coach of the NFL Coach of the Year.
12-4. Yes, he was.
That's resume boosters where you get those extra chances because of that. You know,
and again, remember, if we go back to the logs, Mike Glennon actually was the Bears starting quarterback prior to Mitch Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
So it took for Mike Glennon to really like be subpar. I'm not even gonna say mess up, just be subpar.
Yeah.
For Mitch to supplant him. So then when they brought in Foles really just did the same thing Trubisky did to Glennon. It's like a bad carousel.
Mm-hmm.
I see the comparison a little bit, but Glennon was the guy out of nowhere. They decided, hey, we're gonna get this guy millions of bucks.
No, he wasn't out of nowhere. He was not out of nowhere because
he came from Tampa.
Tampa Bay was openly admitted to say that we will make you the highest paid backup. He felt, I don't want the money. I want the opportunity to start. I can't blame, CK, I can't blame that man for wanting that chance.
Yeah.
But that's
he
fair.
Just wasn't very, I'm not even going to say very good. He wasn't what they thought he could be.
Well, let me ask you this, because I remember him feeling like he said he felt some type of way.
He turned down Tampa Bay's initial offer.
So the Bears give him this money so he can compete for this job.
No, not compete. He was given
and then they draft Trubisky with the number 2 overall pick. What kind of confidence booster is that? Like, you don't draft the quarterback number 2 if you don't plan this guy starting.
Hey, JR, you and me talked football a long time. If you tell me right now, come be your quarterback, right? And I'm like, man, I'm about to be JR's quarterback. And you say, but I got this young whippersnapper on your heels. I mean, I'm not coming to quarterback for you, man.
But I see the thing. But
I know my leash is short.
Hold on. I never saw the Mitch Trubisky thing coming. Once they had Glennon, I was like, hey, I didn't see the Fields thing coming. Once they signed Dalton, I was like, okay, they're doing the long haul.
But you kind of, so let me rephrase. You kind of saw the Fields thing coming with let me explain.
Okay.
The interest in Deshaun Watson, if that became available.
Mm-hmm.
The so-called phantom trade that really never manifested for Russell Wilson. So you kind of knew they were looking, but that little birdie in their ear was like, yeah, let's get Andy Dalton. That's the best of what's left. But then as they're looking at the draft, it's like, hold on, this dude keep falling? You'd be a damn fool if you don't pick him up. So a lot of that is PR and job-saving measures as opposed to just being in love with a certain player here or there.
Okay. You mentioned rocking a hard place because if the fans are the only ones who can really put pressure on the owners and maybe some GMs to make some decisions, because more and more now that's become that's a factor you have to really take into consideration.
That is amazing.
If the fans are unhappy with you, they can really call for your job, and it's kind of like, hey,
can I break in here real quick? I want to break in. CK, I don't know how much time we have with you, but do you want to plug anything before you run?
Yeah, no, please. I hope you stay, but go ahead.
I actually have to head out in a little bit here, but TTNL, they got shows every Wednesday in lieu of you guys too, man. I want to shout you guys out. You guys are doing your thing. I appreciate Edith Yokley. She's got some dope stuff, man.
That's dope.
Hey, I got it. I already.
Hey, that could be a collab for you, CK.
Yeah, no, I was already thinking about. I'm already on the tour dates and everything.
Yes.
Right. That's a nice thing for the end of the summer, So.
Hey, that August 30th day, dude. Hey, that's a Monday, I believe, right?
Yeah. I might have to go out there with you guys. I'll bring my family out there if you guys are gonna be out there.
Hey, we'll politic offline and link that up if we can. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just we're gonna have a tape coming out. We're gonna make it official. We'll announce on Facebook for Tape Never Lies. Me and Phil, we're gonna be doing this DDP. We got a little collab session going on, and eventually we're gonna be coming together for the Bears and Packers game in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna be having an event out there. We might do a performance. I don't want to promise it, but that might be coming. And just keep checking me out on YouTube. Beats, if you need beats, inquire about them, email me, and I got my Instagram on the bottom by my name. So thank you, man.
Okay.
Hey, CK, man, much love, man. I hope we talk offline real soon, man. I really want to get into you about them beats and that production because, hey, that's what sells right now.
Right, definitely. Let me know if you need some intro music or a little bump for the intro and outro,
For sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what's up.
All right.
Hey, respect, my dude.
No doubt. Peace out.
All right, homie. Cole Kennedy. That's a cool dude.
Cool cat.
Yes,
Real
sir.
low key. Hey, he's super low key. Like, dude, I whoop your ass, man. I mean, what's up?
Hey, man.
Real low key like that.
No, but just knowledgeable about the craft though, like guys like Tim, guys like Swiss, just a real savant about his craft. That's what I like, and then the energy and the education, the intelligence about what he's doing, man. Cool Kennedy, one of them guys, man. I respect that he wants to work local. He wants to help the crib.
That's dope.
He wants to help the crib.
Yeah, man. So that's awesome. So definitely, everybody in the chat, if you don't follow Cool Kennedy, make sure you do. And if you're not watching the Tape Never Lies, which most people in the chat are from the Tape Never Lies, but
we love TTNL.
If you have not watched it, go check it out. It's on Wednesdays. I forgot what time on Wednesday, but I know it's on Wednesday night.
What's up with the pooch?
But, she getting on my nerves, man. So I had to let her. Maybe she wanted to see everybody or something.
What's her name?
Macy.
Macy.
Like the store, Macy.
Okay, what's up, Macy?
I was gonna say like Macy Gray, but whatever.
Okay.
Well, that too. 7:30 Central. Thanks, Alex.
What's on your
Hey, Alex, thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, Macy. You gotta go. Go sit down, okay?
So for those of us that don't know, we do tune in on Wednesdays to the Tape Never Lies. They got a lot of great content, great people. Phil, Shane, Alex. Check out TTNL. Real talk.
Definitely.
Real talk. We do.
Man, I wanna continue this Justin Fields discussion, but first. You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
Shout out.
No, Erica is here.
Who?
Hopefully, she doesn't have technical difficulties. Erica.
Who is here?
You about to find out because I'm bringing in right now.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Oh, I know what that is. Oh, okay.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
what's
how
up,
you doing?
Erica?
I'm
no
doing
technical
great.
difficulties today, huh?
You tell me.
You paid the internet bill, huh?
You
Don't
good right
my
now.
technical difficulties.
Nah, you good right now. You good.
You heard me right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can hear you. We can see you.
So
Everything is featured.
If you could hear me, then I wasn't having the technical difficulties. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Anyway, so I'm assuming that you took notes on the Shy this weekend.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Oh
We
boy.
have a lot to discuss, and a burning question that I'm sure everyone is wondering about.
Mm-hmm.
Who shot Duda? I know that's the burning question, right? Who shot Duda?
Who is Duda?
Okay, but we have to lead up to that.
JR.
Right, go ahead.
Who shot JR?
I know who shot JR. I know who shot JR.
Your old ass probably shot JR yourself.
Man, I was like 4. I didn't shoot JR. Who is Duda?
You haven't
Eric,
been watching, John.
No, Terrence told me there was no sense in me trying to go from season 1, 2, and 3. Just try to keep up current.
Oh, we did the recap of 1, 2, and 3. You should.
Nah,
Oh man, you can definitely. That
wasn't good enough for me. I need visual.
Break it down, Erica. Break it down.
Hold on, Bullet
Okay.
said Duda is the mayor. Is he?
Yes,
Yes,
he's supposed
he
to
is
be
the
the mayor
mayor.
of Chicago.
Oh, okay. So
He's
they
the mayor.
changed Lori Lightfoot and called her Duda, huh?
Yeah, they done popped Harold Washington.
Hey, Now you stop that.
Okay.
Hold on. We was little then, but damn it, that hurt.
All right, so go ahead.
So we start off at the rehearsal for an event they're having, okay? Because remember, they're trying to get the Olympics to Chicago and all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So in the midst of that, Duda and Tracy have a conversation. And she's questioning him about the sex traffic girl and does he know anything about it? He says, nah, they kind of have it's kind of a tension field exchange about that particular topic. And he basically tells her like, well, if you can't get down with, my type of deal and my lifestyle, then you can push on. Okay. He uses some more choice words, but
he said, get the fuck on. Yeah.
Okay. That's what he said. I wasn't gonna say that,
Yeah, I know you weren't. I said it. That's it.
Okay. So what other topics do we have? So Jim and Jake still creeping, right? Gemma's kind of giving Kevin like the cold shoulder, he's calling. She's like, yeah, I'm okay. Let me call you back. Bye. Meanwhile, Jake standing right there, feet away while she's on the phone with
bogus.
Kevin. So she's bogus, right?
Oh,
Jake wants her to tell Kevin, and she's like, no, not now. Like, I'm not gonna tell him. So
would you?
Gemma,
if you in that situation, would you?
Well, if she's trying to be with Jake, she gotta tell him something.
Jake,
but I mean, you got your boyfriend here just hanging on, and you playing him off and everything. Wouldn't that affect your conscience or no?
Yes, but see, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. I wouldn't have been messing with his. I mean, that's his best friend. I mean, at the same time, like concurrently, like that's
concurrently. What the fuck does that mean?
Is at the same damn time.
I'm kidding. At the same damn time, JR. Like nothing and everything at the same damn time.
If they broke up and then she got with Jake, that's not really as savage, but like this
I'm
is
live,
going on
Jalen.
at the
You gotta
same
go.
time. She's a savage. And I get why it's difficult for her to tell him, but if she's going to be with Jake, she's going to be with Jake. Now, if she was just messing around with Jake and had no future plans for him, then no, don't tell him. But so we'll put a plug in that for a minute and then we'll get back to we'll sum that up when we get to what takes place at the event. So in the meantime, these are just little tidbits. So Keisha and Kevin's parents, the mother's wife is getting jealous and suspicious because she's spending all this time with Jada, helping Jada through her stuff, but she doesn't know it's Jada.
What stuff is Jada going through?
Jada has cancer. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But all she knows is whenever she's calling, her wife's not picking up. Her wife's coming home late, talking about, oh, I was at the gym. Oh, I had work to do. Oh, I was doing this. And so she's kind of suspicious.
That old okie doke.
And I don't really understand because the whole little link, this is, okay, J.I., when you keep talking about lazy writing, I think this is far-fetched writing. Jada doesn't want I don't remember, Dre, that's the wife's name. Mm-hmm. So Jada doesn't want Dre to tell her wife because her wife will tell Keisha, who was going to tell Emmett, and Emmett had enough on his plate. Mm-hmm. But then she ended up telling Emmett. So now why is it a secret? To me, all she had to do was be like, okay, tell your wife that it's me you with, but tell her don't tell Keisha nothing, so Keisha won't go back to Emmett. But now,
that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work.
But now none of it matters because Emmett knows. So what's the secret for now? So why don't you just tell your wife? The truth is, Jada didn't want nobody to know, but I've been going to chemo. Just tell her everything. But no, now you got the wife snooping through the phone, and she reads the text message talking about, thanks for our secret, or thanks for keeping our secret, or whatever. So now
it looked like she like creeping with Jada or something.
Exactly.
She doesn't know who it is, though.
She doesn't know who it is, though.
Nina knows who Jada is.
No, but
no, she doesn't know it's Jada. She just knows that she been MIA. She doesn't know with whom.
She definitely thinks she's creeping. She thinks something's up.
But she saw the phone that said, "Thanks for keeping our secret." So she's naturally gonna equate all those times that Dre was gone. She's gonna equate that to the text that she just saw, right?
Yeah, but that just happened. I was speaking leading up to the wife has no idea who it is. She just thinks she's creeping because she's MIA. She doesn't get the tidbit that it might be Jada until she reads the text in the phone, which just happened.
Right, but I'm saying now, she'll put two and two together. Well, think she's putting two and two together.
Right, exactly. That's why she should have just told her wife.
Yeah, well.
And furthermore, I think most married people would have just told and been like, "Don't say nothing." That's just me personally. How am I gonna keep it from my husband that my friend has cancer and I'm taking her to chemo and being her support system? Why would I keep that from? But anyway, so that's that scenario. So now we get to Trig and his girl and Rashad. So remember in the last episode, Rashad found out that, Trig's girl was not a girl. So somehow Rashad has this job interview and it's just him and Imani at the house. Rashad don't know how to tie a tie. Imani's like, "Let me help you with that." And he's like, "No, get off of me." So now she knows that he knows, right? Because he's acting all homophobic. She tells Trig again, he got to go. Trig picks him up from the job interview. He's in a bad mood because he knows he's not going to get the job because he's a felon. So they go have drinks or whatever. Trig tells him, you got to go. And he's like, "Oh, why? Because that thing over there don't like me." Right. So he starts defending Imani, like, "That's my woman. She's a woman. This, that, and the other." And he's like, "Nigga, is you gay?" So that really made Trig mad. And so, they blow up and Rashad is like, "Nigga, fuck you," and all of that stuff. Trig storms out. So I'm like, well, now, Rashad, it looks like you don't even have till the weekend. Like, that wasn't a smart move.
Right.
You definitely not going back there now.
He ain't got nowhere else to go. Yeah, that nigga's that wasn't smart.
I'm like, why would you do that? It's beyond me. Okay, so we finally get to and Keisha starts going into labor at the store. They get her back to the house. She has the natural birth underwater or whatever. And it's her mother, the wife, Tabitha, the lady who's gonna get the baby, and Jada are all over at the house while she has the baby. Nothing juicy happens in that part. So now we get to the event. Okay, so first of all, Jake, Gemma, and Kevin are all attending this event because they are the student ambassadors, I think is what they were called, in this group of high school students that were chosen to be the ambassadors. They got picked to be there. So it's like everything is weird with all of them because it's like Kevin and Jake, like, kind of cool, like they dap each other up when they get there, but then throughout the night they're not really talking. Then it's one point where the three of them are standing there, and then Gemma is just like, "Come on, let's go," and her and Jake walk off, and I'm like, "You being real obvious. You got your boyfriend and your boyfriend's best friend and you tell the best friend, come on, let's go. And they walk off and Kevin's standing there like, what just happened? I felt so bad for him throughout this whole thing, because it was just, then he was trying to talk to her. She looking across the room and sees Jake talking to a female. So she's like, I'll be back. She just put Kevin on hold, walked away, and goes over there to Jake. I'm like, she's lost her mind.
I just want to break in for 1 second, if I could.
Yeah.
You were talking about Keisha. Keisha actually met somebody. His name is Christian. He works at the store.
Yeah.
I was his father. A few shoots ago, I was his father, and that's when I was told that I might be called back, maybe, because I don't want to give anything away, but I was his father.
Okay.
So they might call me. They might call me back.
So that hasn't aired yet with you as his father.
No, that didn't air yet.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about. I mean, I didn't forget about it, but at this point, up until you said that, we don't really know that has relevance, because he works at the store.
No,
but
we don't.
Right, he's showing interest in her.
Yeah.
He's like, well, next time you need a break, take me with you or whatever.
Right. That was smooth, wasn't it?
Right. He got a little game.
Yeah.
So now, okay. So, the event. So, that whole thing, if we rewind back to the opening of the season when we saw all those flashbacks, at this point, we pretty much know what's going to happen. So, at some point in the evening, Kevin goes to get something to drink. He comes to the table. Jake and Gemma are gone.
Where's that noise coming from?
Somebody's TV.
Not me.
Not me either.
I'm about to find out. Yeah. I knew where it was. It was from J.I. It was from J.I. And he was quiet as hell too. Right. Like, I don't know.
He's speaking on it now.
Yeah, that was like back in the day when somebody farted.
Hey, J.I., leave Jalen alone,
to admit it.
J.I., leave Jalen alone. Leave my boy alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
He's about to get it.
Leave Jalen alone, man.
Oh, but wait a minute. So the whole reason why they're missing is because Jake always feels out of place. Like, I guess because his brothers are gangsters. He's like, this ain't for me. Whatever. He's gonna leave. Gemma,
Jake,
badass, follows him. She like, my man ain't going nowhere. She follows him, right? So they're walking and talking through the building. And so then she's like, you want to get out of here? Or whatever, right? But before they go, okay, Kevin notices that they're missing. So Kevin starts walking around the building. He walks down a dark hallway. And I don't know if you saw this, Terrence and J.I., but to me, I feel like he had that bubbling stomach. I mean, the butterflies in his stomach. Like, he knew he didn't want it to be. That's what I think. Because he was walking down that hallway like, oh, God, no, please don't. Like, the look on his face was like, what am I about to see? Like, he knew. Because why else? What's drawing you down that hallway?
Hey, T, let me pause you real quick. Go back to what you just put up, because you mentioned that. You touched on that like last week and the week before, right?
Yeah, I did.
Honestly, I appreciate how real the show is and authentic to Chicago. They're talking about some real topics that a lot of people are afraid to touch on. Mm-hmm. You and J.I., the last 2 weeks, spoke very highly of this exact conversation right here that we're having. Sure. This is why we do this on this show. these conversations need to be had, be it in entertainment, art, imitating life, imitating art equals reality.
Absolutely.
And that's something that
go back to that name. We need to shout her out. That was beautiful. Asa Violin, beautiful. Well said. Well said.
And that's something that we don't really appreciate, because if something is really real and it's on TV, we'll say, "Oh, that's phony. That doesn't look real," because we're so used to what's being portrayed.
There you go. It gets glossed over, J.I. It gets glossed over to the point where reality becomes illusion.
Right.
I can definitely, like, man, what I saw bullets like what's the guy's name? He's a Jake is a snake. I don't know. I mean, a lot of guys do that.
No,
that happens.
He is a snake. That's kind of
hey, don't tell no secrets. Hush.
You know what? I can definitely relate to what Erica said. Kevin is walking down that hall like, I don't want to see this, but something is pulling me toward it. And I don't know. I mean, Jake hit Gemma pretty hard. Like, you're gonna be a revolutionary, but you got a lot of your guy. You can't tell him. Like, and she said it's different. It's not. Like,
no, it ain't. It ain't different.
I mean, the truth is the truth in any situation. But you know, at some point in time, you might have to bring it in at the right time. Or, hey, I'm a teenager. You know what? I'm entitled to change my mind. I don't like you anymore. That was last week.
Hey, that's any playground at any CPS K through third. So
that's true shit.
That's true. That's real. Yeah.
Like she was saying, that's real shit.
Wait a minute, Erica. Erica, do you remember what Jake told her? Like the reason, well, she basically said, "I liked you first, but Kevin was the one who approached me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was like, "Kevin approached me, you didn't." You want to know what he said to her before that?
No, what he said after that, like,
"I don't chase no bitches."
Oh,
that's exactly what he said. And stop talking like that.
What he said.
And he said, "This is how I talk," and she seemed to accept that from him. She was unwilling to accept that's how Kevin is. Like, she was trying to like fit Kevin into a mold, and she's a little bit more, I think, a little bit more prone to let Jake be who he is.
Because she liked that. She
exactly
liked that
because
boy.
She liked that bad boy shit.
That's the truth.
She ain't been exposed like to that fake ass Goose Island they went to have a fish sandwich. I ain't never
you what they was portraying, man.
No fish. They ain't never had no fish.
We had to stand in line for it. That wasn't that Goose Island.
Yeah, it was another one, huh?
It's the one. It's the one with the brewery.
Right. And you can sit down in there too.
Yeah, that's a real place, but it's just called Goose Island.
Okay, got it.
It's like going for North Avenue.
Jake gave her the realest line, I think, in the whole thing. Is like when he said, "You know, I don't chase," and then it was like that sounds like something a teenage boy would foolishly
from Chicago,
say.
Especially from
would definitely
line. For sure.
Yes.
Definitely. I don't chase no bitches.
Yeah, that was
she likes Jake because he's rough around the edges. She plays Kevin like that because Kevin is like a lot of Chicago dudes too. A lot of Chicago dudes will walk around like, oh, 5
hey, hold up, y'all see this?
Who is Dark Spectre?
I don't know, but
what do you do?
He's absolutely correct. He's absolutely
correct. Fake as fuck. How you get a fish sandwich from Goose Island, man? Yeah, you can sit down.
Right. Hey, thank you, Dark Spectre. That's what's happening.
That was funny as hell.
Hey, that was right. Hey, timely.
So,
all right, so go ahead, Erica.
But Kevin is also like some other Chicago guys. Like I'm sure this has happened. You be around people that you've known since they were little, you know their whole family life, but they're in front of other people like, oh, is that 5-0 over there? Let me lay low. Like they try to act like they're into more than they are. Kevin keeps acting like this not me, this not me. But I'm like, Kevin didn't come from where Jake comes from. Kevin is not an orphan with two gangsters as brothers. Like, but Kevin tries to be sort of like he's got an edge, but he doesn't. And so she's kind of like, dude, would you just act like you came from where you came from and stop acting like you can't do civilized things like this, you know? So
yeah, Kevin
kind of loses respect for Kevin because she thinks he tries to front. Like, no, really, you are smart. Really, you do belong at this school. You just didn't want to go because you thought you weren't cool if you go to this school, like stuff like that. But Jake really is from that mentality. So
Kevin is in a Kevin is in a bad spot because I mean it's a tough spot because you're not really hard enough to be considered like a bad boy, but you're not privileged enough to be, you know, like I don't know if necessarily know if he's kind of like a man without a country now. You're not a thug, but you're definitely not soft. You're just a normal guy. And on top of that, you don't really play any sports. You don't have any you don't have any type of outstanding skill. You're a nice guy.
Calling him a lame.
You know what? No, he just hasn't found his spot yet. Like he hasn't found his niche. Like next season they'll be making Jake a basketball player or something because he can fit that role.
Hey man,
or Jake can be tough. That's the truth. But Kevin is lost.
State Farm, call it what it is.
Right. Poor Kevin haven't had his growth spurt yet either.
You know what? I don't know. Listen, does anybody in here aside from me feel a little conflicted
about
like
what?
About what?
When I see Kevin and Gemma in bed, these are teenagers.
Oh,
that's a little odd to me.
Why?
Why?
I mean, like they don't show it, but they have sex scenes.
Okay,
that's a little bit. Hold on, it is very real, but I'm just like, it's just the old grumpy old guy. Me like, man, these are high school kids.
A little unexpected, a little jolt to the system.
They've been having high school kids.
Wait till your little dude get a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so okay. You're just saying we're not used to seeing that.
We're not used to seeing that on. That's a very real aspect of life.
Oh
yeah. And I think like that's to me a very very strong part of the TV show that some people might be a little off-putting because it really kind of breaks down to like we don't see this on any other show. Now I see some like it's very real. Now I love authentic Chicago. Yep. I'm not gonna really point out to man, wait a minute, these dudes sitting down in Goose Island. The whole country doesn't know that like to them that's real. Let's keep our Chicago secrets. Hey, when the dude said what he say 63rd and Yates, I'm like 63rd and Yates.
that doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist, right?
But you know what? That makes me think all of these other streets they be mentioning in New York and Cali don't exist. We just don't know it.
Right, we just don't know.
It could be across the board, you know. It could be.
Oh yeah, listen, because I think that the show is pretty much well researched. I mean, you're gonna have a couple of little glitches. Jason Weaver, I hope they don't kill him off or kick him out. I love his character.
Now, what character is Jason Weaver? Jason Weaver, like my age, so like, what is he playing? Like a 20-year-old or something? What's going on?
He's that's Triggs' buddy that got out of jail.
You keep saying,
you know what? Man, when she tried to help him with the tie and he jerked, I said that was real. That was real to me. I thought that was real. Like
it probably is because he is a trainee. And Jason Weaver probably feels a certain way about that.
The bottom.
There's no question he feels a certain way about it. But you know what? Most people do. Most people feel a certain way about it. But society says that you can't really show it. And he's rough around the edges for a lot of reasons. So he's like, man, excuse me if I'm not diplomatic. I'm politically correct.
But JR, you said you can't really show up, but we're in a pantheon of expression right now.
You can't express certain things. if somebody, I can't express my dislike for certain marginalized communities, and
You
the
sure about that?
LGBT, I'm positive about it.
Express it. You're just not going to be looked at in a
No.
positive light.
Somebody's gonna come after him.
Yes,
But
you can't.
isn't that what American History X was? My disdain for a certain populace.
Yes, but right now,
So don't say it can't be shown.
hold on.
It might not be
That
accepted.
was 20 years ago. That movie
Actually,
is
it
20
wasn't.
years
But
old.
don't say it can't be shown. It can be accepted. It can be shown.
Well, let me tell you this. Wait till the other shoe drops. If you show that, and then what has to happen is you have to show it in a way where you're maybe being satirical or condemning of that type of, like, his homophobia has to be condemned, because if it's advocated, the show is going to catch a little blowback from that.
If it's not advocated, then it wouldn't be real. See, you tread lines.
I mean, because it is a little bit of a gray area. He's a Chicago dude that's in his early 40s, late 30s, early 40s. I can understand why he thinks the way he thinks, because most guys of that age, of a certain age, do think that way. Everybody's not going to be embracing to the LGBTQ community.
But don't you think Lena Waithe knows that?
Oh, definitely. I
give
definitely
her a little more credit on how she's plotting this scenario.
No, I give her all the credit in the world, because I think she handled a very touchy. Most people wouldn't have touched it at all.
It would have never made the developmental stage to even be talked about.
They would have brought in Trigg's character, and then everybody would just embraced her and loved her, and that wouldn't have been very authentic.
Well, I'm sure it's something near and dear to her heart.
Say again?
I said, I'm sure it's something near and dear to her heart. You know, being that she is part of that community.
That's why she can do it.
Right.
Also, because everybody knows it's not.
That is true.
Because she's
that's very true. That's very true. She's speaking her truth, so she can't. Yeah, so she can do it. And when the blowback comes, it'll come back to like, hey, look at me. I'm definitely not saying anything, out of the way. When I said that, I don't know why I'm just so fascinated with Jason Weaver's character, because Kevin seems Chicago to me too. He just looks like a Chicago dude. Like, and I deal with students like that all the time. Like, okay, you're not tough, you're not a thug, but you will talk the talk. Like you said, Erica, 5-0, watch out. Well, I got to do it. Like, knock it off.
Right. Nobody's looking for you. You ain't.
You got straight A's. I know you. Simmer down.
Right. Sit down somewhere.
He went to Whitney Young.
If he got straight A's, I'm sure he did.
And you know what? Indeed. It's kind of like, you can't have it both ways. I want to be tough and stick my chest out. I went to Kenwood. Okay, all right, I guess. You see what I did there, John?
Yeah, I saw that.
There's some thugs at Kenwood.
Hey, somewhere.
Yes, it is.
Curtis Clay are mad at you right now.
So how did the show end? What do we have to look forward to?
Okay, so right, so we know he walks down the hallway, he sees them kissing. You would think Emma would run after her boyfriend, right? She's caught up. She turns around like, oh shit. And then she just stands there. And Kevin runs away.
Wow.
And she just turns back around to Jake.
What did Jake do?
Her and Jake walking, holding hands.
What did Jake, did he look remorseful or anything?
Jake was kind of in the shadow. I don't know. I didn't really see his face. I just know Gemma was like, shit. And then just kind of was like, and then Kevin walked away. And
so Jake didn't see Kevin? Jake was just.
Yeah, he saw him.
And he didn't do shit? He just kind of stood there like, oh, well, fuck it. Whatever.
I guess he was like, because he wanted the cat out the bag anyway. Remember? So I guess Jake was kind of like, all right, hey, what's done is done.
You know what? This is bad. This is
stuff like, even though Bob, that's still my brother. You messing with this girl. Y'all ain't brothers no more.
You know what? This might be bad for Papa.
How?
Because Jake gonna get back on Papa. I mean, Kevin gonna get back on Papa's girl now. That's how they started.
no, that's not.
Hey, the same thing make you laugh, make you cry. Like, wait a minute, Papa's girl liked Kevin.
Right.
Kevin didn't like her because she was a little too big for him. And he, you know what? He really did like her. He really did like her.
Too big.
But his boys were teasing him about that, and he wasn't confident enough to like who he really liked.
Right.
And she appreciated and liked Papa. Now she liked Kevin, but she didn't like the fact that Kevin was embarrassed by her.
Right.
And she overheard Kevin saying some things. Papa really liked her. And because Kevin was fronting for his boys, like, I don't really like her. I only kissed her because I felt sorry for her. No, you kissed her because you really liked her. If I'm 16, and I like a girl that my guys are like, well, what you doing? What are you doing? You know, then a lot of what you do is for some type of, you know, approval from your peers.
Clout.
And clout. Your peers will have you messing with somebody you don't really like because she get light skin with long hair. That might not even be your thing. No offense to Erica.
Your feelings, Kevin. That's
Hey.
what they said.
Hey, Bullets, you wild, man. Hey, Bullets, you wild.
Hey.
Man, fuck your feelings.
Hold on.
That's
basically what Jake said.
That's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
She didn't even run after him. She didn't even try to play it up. But like, you know, in most movies, wait, I can explain. Let me just, they run after. She was like,
relieved. She was relieved.
Wait, so
now she didn't have to say something.
They held hands and walked away?
Yeah. They showed them later. Like they cut to another scene for something else. And then later on at the end of the night, they showed them walking, holding hands, and then going their separate ways, I guess. And then they show Kevin leave out and get in an Uber. Pissed.
Damn.
You know what? Kevin was so distraught.
Mm-hmm.
He shot Duda.
Here you go.
No.
Hey,
do you think they will reveal that in the next episode? Or
that would be dope. Kevin, I'm airing this whole place out.
But let's get to that. Okay. So the ending. Okay. Let's get to this Duda. Who shot Duda? So Duda and Tracy are standing at the bar talking. This is after the event is over with. And so Duda is like, yeah, I'm going to go up on the roof. Why don't you come with me? And Tracy's like, okay, yeah, let me say goodbye to some folks or whatever. I'll see you up there. So now the next thing we know, Duda's on the roof. Sounds like somebody comes, you know, I guess opens the door to the rooftop.
What the fuck is that?
He turns around, like, you know, waiting to see her, and pow, somebody shoots him. Okay. So, who do we think shot Duda?
Oh my God. What the fuck is that?
That's somebody's alert.
That's not me.
JP, is that your shit?
Hey, man, only thing I got going on is the game in the back, of which Phoenix is winning, beating the Clippers.
Erica, is that your shit?
Mm-mm.
I think that's you.
I don't have no alert like that.
It ain't me. Ain't nobody trying to check up on me right now. She on this pod. She listens to this pod right now. She the only one checking for me.
Here's the clue. The first thing I saw that started to give me clues. When they show the gun, okay, the person is holding a gun like this. Okay, wait, can you see me? Like this, okay? Mm-hmm. I've never
look like a retarded Charlie's Angel. What?
I've never seen a man like this with two hands. Like
that's how you're supposed to hold it, though.
That's standard. Like, what are you talking about?
But not in movies. In movies, only women hold guns like
movies do. Yeah, they do.
Hey, what did Joe say?
Or
That's
even
not
just
it.
That ain't the right way to hold
That
that
ain't
gun.
it.
or okay,
Fuck you
in
doing?
a gangster movie, men hold guns like this. In white movies, men hold guns like this. Only women hold guns with two hands.
I don't know.
Cops.
So
Women that are cops.
my first thought was it's a woman. So I thought about, I don't know Candy's name. I thought about Candy and her saying, Rosalind, I think Rosalind is Candy. And her saying, when they were dancing on the dance floor, she was asking him something about a spot for her or something she could do.
She
and
wants
he
to
was
spot
like,
in the administration.
Huh?
A spot in his administration.
Right, in his administration.
And he said, "Bitch, please."
He said, if you don't, I'll serve you with divorce. She said, I'll serve you with divorce papers, which would not be good for him or whatever. So she's already been given threats. And they already have that strange relationship where they ain't really together and all of that stuff. Right. She's talking about exactly what I'm talking about. See, it's on 30. It's saying the same thing I just said.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I said no to Tracy is because she would have needed to plan that out. And it was not her idea to go on the roof. It was Duda's idea to go on the roof. She would have had to have her own plan that would have been her trying to get him to go someplace else. I thought about that.
That's very real, though. I mean, it's real. It could be.
Hey, who is he gonna call now that he got popped? Because he defunded the police. Who he gonna call? Trig?
Who who gonna call?
Duda.
He could.
Oh,
He
Trig.
could call Trig. Trig worked for him.
Well, that's what Trig and them do. You know, they go in.
Big Mike is back.
And do what the
call
police
Big
used
Mike.
to do.
He called Big Mike. Big Mike is back. Did you see Big Mike?
Who is Big Mike?
Who is Big Mike?
Big Mike, when Big Mike made his he made his comeback the last episode, you know, when in the scene with Vic Mensa, he was beating his girl. So Trig and Big Mike grabbed Vic Mensa up and was questioning him about why you hitting your girl, whatever. Then Vic Mensa hit Trig, and Big Mike was like, nigga, make another move. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yes,
he doesn't have a motive to kill Duda. Who has a motive? The cop. His wife.
Gemma's daddy.
Okay, here's the thing. Something is up with them, but it doesn't seem that deep.
Yeah, he doesn't seem gangster enough to kill. Like that doesn't
He's
seem
not
like
gangster. If anything, with that man, I would think it was something like he want to fuck Tracy and it's cock blocking. It would be some, or it's political. Because remember, he said something like, without me, you wouldn't be where you at. So maybe he want his spot or something, but.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine them doing it. I just thought like Tracy's whole presence is kind of shocking to me. Like how she kind of like rose to, like she has a legitimate position of prominence in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
He hasn't. So yeah, he should have stuck with the pizzas. He was very low key, running the city without running the city without any grief.
Right. Now you want to be high profile.
Yeah, like he had the city pretty much in the chokehold, and nobody knew him.
You know, actually, I saw a Perry's Pizza in the suburbs. There's such thing as a Perry's Pizza.
Oh wow!
I think I was in Niles, maybe.
Why were you? I don't even want to know why you were in Niles.
Yeah, what was he doing in Niles?
For my job, man. For my job. So I was in Niles for my job, and I saw a Perry's Pizza. I'm like, what the fuck? Perry's Pizza, goddamn, y'all watch the show too, shit. Okay.
Hey, you know what? You know what's so good about like all of these possible shooters? I don't know. Like it makes it very suspenseful. Like however they tie this in, it is. I mean, they could really play this out for a minute.
Not even related to this season. I thought about the guy who he stumped outside his house, in the back of his house. When Jake decided he didn't want to live there no more after he saw him stump that dude.
I thought he killed Buddy.
Oh, last episode?
Yeah.
Last season.
Yeah.
Last season.
You said last season.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
About that. I just tried to think of anybody that might have beef with him.
This is
Brandon.
This is far-fetched, but I guess it's possible if he got clearance.
No, I hope it's not.
That would be really interesting. But yeah,
hey, that brings back.
Where did he go, and where is he coming back from?
No, they killed Brandon.
No, we didn't see that. We didn't see that.
We just saw he's in witness protection.
We just saw a funeral. We didn't see open casket or nothing. So we don't
know. Witness protection. What in the All My Children storyline flip are we talking?
He's been in witness protection.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why, but
well, Erica, thank you. Appreciate you for catching us up on the most recent episode, and we look forward to next week hearing about the next episode. And that should be a good one. I hope Duda's killer is revealed.
They're not gonna reveal it that
They're
fast.
not. So you think they're gonna keep dragging it out?
How many more episodes? How many episodes?
I think it's I want to say maybe 4 more.
4 more. I just don't think they would do it in the very next one. Maybe in like episode 7, maybe.
Well, July 22nd, I think. 50's his new series starts. So I don't think they're gonna cross.
What's the name of it?
What is it? I forgot what the name of it is, but it's one of those spinoffs of Power.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like when 50, the story of 50 when he was younger, before he got killed.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Erica. Appreciate you.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
And
thank you definitely, Erica.
Next week.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
You guys have a good evening.
Okay, you
appreciate
too.
you, Erica. Have a good one. Be easy.
Later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, we'll stick around.
So, this Bears talk that we were having about Justin Fields sitting behind Andy Dalton for at least the first game. Mm-hmm. But if Andy Dalton gets on a roll, then Justin Fields is going to sit and marinate for a little longer.
And everyone will be happy with that.
Yeah, I
would accept it. Let's not say they'd be happy with it.
You're right. They wouldn't be happy with it because
they would accept it.
We could blow everybody out by 20 with Andy Dalton and say, "Man, Justin Fields, and then we'd be beating them by 30."
You're right.
Yeah,
They would accept it. They would accept it.
Yeah, we don't really know that, but yeah, we would accept it.
I mean, Andy Dalton would have to be lights out to. I mean, I don't know. It would be, and I'm with John. It's going to. An injury is going to have him maybe, I don't know, because if you're winning, because sometimes you can win and attribute it to other factors, special teams and defense, and we're still winning. So we're saying, okay, we gave Andy Dalton, but hey, man, but we're 3-0, but it's not because of him. It actually might be in spite of him. So you mess around and see, that's what happens. Dark Spectre is telling the truth. That's what a lot of people think, and it's a lot easier to say that now when you have Justin Fields waiting in the wings.
Especially Cowboys fans. Cowboys fans are saying Andy Dalton sucks for a totally different reason.
Trash? I don't know about trash.
He ain't too far from being taken out to the curb.
I mean, we just said he's more than serviceable. Right?
I would love for him to thrive for a few games, because it would be the greater good for it'd be for the greater good of the team. No, because if he thrives and looks good for a couple of games, they're going to make that transition. But then his trade value, you can get rid of that contract.
Well, Andy Dalton's trade value goes.
That's what I mean. Andy Dalton's trade value, because even if you keep him for the rest of the year, at the end of the year, like you could get rid of some of that money. You could trade him. It'd be a lot of teams. If he looks even somewhat serviceable, somebody will pick him up.
Well, so what Dark Spectre is speaking to, J.I., this is what me and you spoke about.
I saw him on the Cowboys.
Right. And we were like, damn, Andy Dalton doesn't move. Remember, the first thing we said was he doesn't move the needle.
He does not.
Then we said, and he's not a sexy pick.
He is not.
So he's got 2 strikes against him going into the season from Bears faithful. Now, what we don't know is, okay, made the playoffs with the bank. We know that. True shit. That's crazy, Bullets. We do know that. But Andy Dalton also made it to the playoffs and never won. So one thing we know for true, we have an aging defense. So we have about a 2 to 3 year window before that defense, gives out.
Two.
I'm being optimistic because of the rejuvenation of youth in the secondary. That's what I'm saying, 2 to 3. But the key factor of this is what? The offense that Matt Nagy wants to run didn't work with Mitch Trubisky. Why? Not because of his athleticism, but because he didn't have a strong enough arm to chuck it down the field. Can we agree?
I think I can agree with that, yeah.
What does Andy Dalton bring that Mitch Trubisky didn't have?
Experience.
Okay, that's experience is a given because, hell, he's played longer. He's not as mobile. He's not as athletic. And he definitely doesn't have the arm to throw the ball down the field.
No, but he makes the right decisions. He knows when to fold them and when to hold them.
He's a quick read. He processes information very quickly.
I think his overall knowledge of the game at this level, he has intangibles.
Is there fortuitous to what Nagy runs?
I wouldn't say so. I would just say that I would say he's a safe pick, and he provides he provides
we agree. Bullets, we agree he's a little more than serviceable as far as that's concerned. But we also just watched the Cowboys, who had a dynamic offense with Dak Prescott, pretty subpar with Andy Dalton. And we have the biggest gap because we have a rookie left tackle who is going to be he's going to have the spotlight on him more than anybody on that Bears team. That rookie left tackle out of Oklahoma State University. Bullets, I can give you that. But guess what? We can also go back 2 years ago and say what? Nick Foles came in relief and won a Super Bowl. And yet we trying to ship him on the first thing smoking.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not talk about playoff experience where you've never gotten out the first round or lost in a wild card division or divisional game. But we talking about a guy that actually won the Super Bowl and threw a Super Bowl record. And we talking about this man can't cut it. So let's be realistic in our assessments. 1, Andy Dalton is serviceable. He's a tick above okay. That's really what he is. With the Bears offense trying to be as prolific as it is, with Matt Nagy as a prolific play caller, 2 things you need to have. You need to have a solid offensive line, right? And you have a good running game. But you can't have a good running game if you don't run the ball, right? Jai, you know this. Running game on paper looks great until you run the ball. Or until you don't run the ball.
The running game looked like it was taking a turn for the better toward the end of the season.
Toward the end of the season. Yeah.
David Montgomery looked legitimate.
That was Bill Laser. That was Laser.
Okay.
That wasn't Nagy.
And you should get a little bit of a boost. Cohen should be back so you have a little change of pace.
Agreed. But does he automatically become another 2 over Damian Williams?
No. They'll see how I think he'll be the number 2 if he looks healthy, or he'll be that hybrid position where we kind of move him around, and that you'll have a legitimate committee.
He's gonna stay the gadget guy. He'll be that third option at running back. I think he'll be the main
third down back.
Well, yeah, that.
And he'll give you a little bit of life in special teams. So
or he'll be that the 5th string receiver when you're just trying to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
Slot guy.
Slot right. Mooney usually slot left, tight end right. He'll be slot right.
Yeah.
The 2, yeah.
And then he'll be that punt returner. Hopefully he stops running east and west and run north and south. But I think either him or Damiere Byrd. If Damiere Byrd sticks,
thank you.
If he sticks, he may not stick.
Hey, that's not guaranteed.
Nope, it's not.
We see flashes, but
he fast. But I mean,
all of them. Cohen might be the slow. I'm sorry, Montgomery might be the slowest one, but all of those position skill players are fast. The Bears have a lot of speed. They really do. But how do you tie it all together?
Uh-oh.
I agree with you, Expected, because what has Andy Dalton proved? Rashad Kennedy, we agree. We just talked about that. If Nagy feeds David Montgomery, that's a different story.
He has to.
First of all, if your projection over 17 games is this, I'm asking Andy Dalton to give me 4,500 yards, then you've already lost the game. But if Andy Dalton can give you like 3,200 yards, 3,300 yards, David Montgomery give you about 1,500, now you're making moves. You're keeping that aging defense off the field. You're keeping them drives alive. You're keeping that clock moving. That's a different ball game.
Yeah.
Nagy can't run out there like he got the 2019 Chiefs. He can't do that. That's not what he has.
Right.
Can I shift? Speaking of uniforms, can I shift the gears a little bit? I saw this yesterday, and I didn't watch any sports television today. I was really busy and just thrown off, a little bit. Carl Nassib.
Carl Nassib.
Nassib. I'm sorry, Carl Nassib. That's how much I know him. Carl Nassib.
94 Raiders.
Yes.
Okay. Got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Yes.
Yes.
I know him well.
Okay. First openly gay player, active player in the NFL.
Yes.
They say he has the number one. Well, I think it's with I don't know if it's number. It'll be number one probably in the league.
Talking about jersey sales?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is number one, sold out in the Raiders, like website and all of that stuff. Like, I'm kind of conflicted because I haven't seen, but I'll probably watch it a little later today to see what people say about it. Is that a big deal? As much as open as and openly as America as we're supposed to be now, is that a big deal?
It should not be. It should not be a big deal. Like you were just saying, it's a different time now than when the dude from the Rams came out. It's different.
Michael Sams,
exactly. It's a different time now. So it's somewhat more accepted. If you're gay, that's fine. You gay. So, I mean, back then it was like, oh, he gay? Oh, shit. Oh.
So can I elaborate just a little bit?
Of course.
Nassib is very productive, right? Like he's teetering all pro. Like he's a great defensive player. At the time, Michael Sam's was coming off being SEC Defensive Player of the Year, but when he got into training camp, that kind of didn't translate. So his success in college kind of didn't translate to the pros, but he was still given the opportunity, even though in the later rounds, even though we're talking about what, Jay, about 4 or 5 years ago?
About 4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, we're in a different headspace than we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be complete honest with anybody out there that listen to our show, no matter your position on any stance that we speak of. In sports today, as long as you produce, doesn't matter your sexuality, doesn't matter your gender identification, it doesn't matter what you were born at. None of that matters as long as you produce. It's a pay-for-play league and society.
Look at Dennis Rodman.
As long as you produce,
yep,
that's the bottom line. And we applaud anybody for coming out of their shell. We applaud anybody for making that known, because that takes that. Hey, that's a lot of courage, Carl Nassib. That's a lot of damn courage, bro.
Especially in the sport like football,
a sport where you're supposed to be like the alpha male,
right?
The man.
You know, so that's big, man. That's big. You know, now I know it's some people probably like, oh man, he gay. I can't.
Nobody will say that out loud.
Yeah.
As long as he gets 9, 10, 11, 12 sacks a year like he's been doing, who cares?
Okay, now I'm glad you said that, because your productivity will have people tolerate whatever's going on.
Of course.
Because you won't be a distraction, or it weighs out, it balances out. That's the reason why, like, Tim Tebow, you can't really have him on your team at all, because unless you don't mind or you need the publicity, you're going to get publicity from him, but you might not get as much productivity as you would like.
So wait. So alluding to what we just spoke of, productivity over publication. The circus comes to town, but everybody don't go to the circus. But you just know the circus is there.
No doubt. But if I know, like, this guy probably won't see the field, but we'll be on the cover of every magazine if we have him on our team. So, okay, that's a little bit of political play and a little bit of gamesmanship. I'm okay with that. Sports should be, and I think in most cases is the ultimate meritocracy. You play, it's not favoritism. You play the people who are the best. That doesn't mean you like. Now, what happens is, if you're a hard personality to get along with, but you're completely undeniable on the field or the court, they will deal with you.
Absolutely.
But as soon as you start to slip, they may give you a little bit of push out the door quicker if you're not an easy to get along with guy. I've seen that happen. And if you cause a distraction, not in a negative way, but nobody wants their backup quarterback holding press conferences. Nobody wants more reporters here to talk to somebody about their specific personality rather than what's going on. Like, we just lost the game or we just won a game and you want to talk to the backup rather than the starter? Well, yeah, he's more polarizing. So now with Carl Nassib, he's going to have all type of reporters in his face. And now they'll throw some obligatory football questions at him, but they really want to know what's going on and what made you come out and do this and do that and how do you feel about this? And I mean, you think people are all of a sudden nobody cares about a defensive end?
So
name 3.
Well, for one, I was going to say put Myles Garrett in that shoe.
Who?
Cleveland Browns. Myles.
I know. Hold on. I know you're talking about. But listen, All of those
you talking about because the face recognition.
All of those people that bought those Carl Nassib jerseys, they don't know who Myles Garrett is. But they would have bought Myles Garrett's jersey if he comes out tomorrow. They'll buy. Then you'll be buying a better player's jersey.
Agreed, but
which wouldn't be shocking.
But what you're doing right now is so you're addressing the masses while not addressing the sports fan.
Sports fans wouldn't fill up. Sports fans, the hardcore sports fans would never fill
an arena. They wouldn't.
An arena. They wouldn't.
Agree. Agree.
The hardcore sports fan.
It's the casual fan that moves the needle.
Yes,
always
that's exactly. Yep.
Always has.
So and I get it. This is the.
But allow me to say this about Carl Nassib though, because of the day and time that we're in. Now, had he did that 10 years ago, they'd have found a reason. Hey man, you supposed to get 10 sacks, you got 8. You got to go because they didn't want to address the elephant in the room. That's just real talk. But now, because the state of affairs are where we are in society, as long as you produce, first of all, the numbers on that jersey, then your name. You represent Las Vegas, you represent Chicago, you represent whatever team you want. That's first and foremost. You always represent yourself after you represent the team that you play for. That's been par for the course throughout history. Represent that team first. When you're a more progressive team, that makes that pill a little easier to swallow, if you feel what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
So to me, Carl Nassib, he's in a great position because of where he's at, 1. For 2, he's super productive. And for 3, the timing to where we are as a society allows that to be like, man, we're going to applaud that. But we're still going to expect you to be Carl Nassib, that 9, 10, 11 sack player a game. Like, don't dip on your production just because you came out to say this or that.
If he dips on his production, will that come up again? Will his sexuality come up?
I don't think that part will, but there'll be pundits that'll come up and say, well, he's distracted or his agenda has changed. Possibly. But we don't say that about a Khalil Mack when we look at the tape and see, oh, he went from 13 sacks to 7 because he got double teamed. We just be like, oh, he went to 13 to 7, like he's dipping. That's
so
it. That's
okay, he's distracted, but
there you go. Yeah. There you go. So there'll still be like that little underlying, kind of.
They really say, oh, because of his sexuality, but that's the distraction.
That will be perceived as the distraction. Sometimes you just don't, I throw 40 touchdowns this year. I throw 32 last year. Like it doesn't. Sometimes the game changes.
It could have just got tougher.
Could have got tougher.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change that man's work ethic and that man's production. It never changes.
Yeah.
So why does Roger Goodell commend Carl Nassib for announcing?
Because Carl Nassib, one, it's not as. I don't think it is as a hot button topic right now as some of the social injustice topic is, and I think he's better at his position than Colin Kaepernick was perceived to be at his at the time.
I have to disagree, Jay.
That don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Hey, no,
let
me tell you why I disagree. So. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna answer both those questions. One, Jay, I'm gonna address you. The reason why I disagree is because Kaepernick took a team to the Super Bowl. It's a lot of NFL quarterbacks that ain't sniffing no Super Bowl. No, and like Dark Spectre just said, Nassib had 2.5 sacks and 1 interception last season. He didn't have a stellar season. But because of the day and time that we're in currently, he just became an all-star. So Goodell, in the interest of furthering the shield and continually promoting and inflating the brand, inflation, draw, he's got to come out and say that. Whether he believes it wholeheartedly or not, he's got to come out and say that. But guess what? That agenda may have been a little bit higher than raising social consciousness and social injustice. That's just the real facts.
Okay, and listen, and hold on for a moment. I definitely, if someone says that there was some underlying political aspects in play that kept Colin Kaepernick off NFL roster, I can definitely agree with that. But I also believe this: I don't want any political, especially highly sensitive socio-political statements made by a non-starting player on the team. I might have to deal with it from a player that's starting. But if you haven't even made your way onto the first 11, you need to simmer down a little bit. And I say that with all the respect in the world for Colin Kaepernick.
Give me an example, JR, because Kaepernick was a starter.
Not when he started this kneeling campaign. He was not.
No,
he was not.
No, you're not being historically accurate. Remember.
Okay, well, I would love to see. Remember, because let me tell you this. Because what was Buddy's name? And this is Dark Spectre said Carl Nassib.
He's absolutely correct.
Dark Spectre said Carl Nassib had 2.5 sacks and 1 interception last season. I didn't even know who this joker was yesterday. So the fact that we looked him up has nothing to do with anything he's done on the field. It's solely because of his sexuality. That's the reason. Hold on. Listen, we wouldn't know who this guy was. And you know what?
I knew who he was in Cleveland.
Hold on. I got you. Hold on. And when you say this, because the name doesn't sound that foreign to me, but he wasn't a factor. He may not be that. He's not going to move the needle, but he's not. So when I see 20 Carl Nassib jerseys in the stand, they're not supporting him, the player. They're attracted to to something outside of the game, which is okay. But let's keep the main thing the main thing. So is the main thing winning and competition, or is it, have we hijacked it to be, this is a platform to give all type of messages and whatnot. So I like I don't have a problem with it, but the truth of the matter is,
but you have to look at it.
Who cares?
You have to look at it like this, Jab. Agenda may supersede performance at this point. It really might.
Wait, hold on for a minute. Dark, I got you. Dark Spectre says, I knew who he was. I don't mean that because I guarantee the name. I think he had a brother. The name sounds familiar. So he had somebody in his, because that's not a common name. I definitely recognize that name as an NFL player, but he wasn't.
Wow. Rashad Kennedy, hey, bro. Because of Madden free agents pickups. Wow.
Listen. Hey, Rashad, this joker will mess around, and this is this Cool Kennedy?
Yeah, no, that's Rashad Kennedy. That's somebody.
No, that's cool. That's same person.
Oh, that's cool. Oh shit,
that's cool.
Hey, Carl Nassib will mess around and be on the next Madden cover.
Come on, you're going too far now.
Hold on, listen. The fact. I wish him the best because I really, really, really don't think that it should. Now, if I say that I know that it shouldn't matter, I'm acknowledging the fact that it does matter. It doesn't. Listen, I don't have an issue with what anybody does in their personal, private life. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what your political or religious beliefs are. It's a meritocracy. If I want my quarterback to be able to read defenses, throw the ball, and make wise decisions and play at a high level. Anything other than that will be okay. Well, I mean, we don't have to hang out and go fishing. It might be nice if we did, but we don't necessarily have to. My understanding is Aaron Rodgers is not necessarily beloved personality-wise by his teammates.
Okay.
But nobody's denying his talent. So if you're an undeniable talent, we will tolerate that. But if you're not, then we'll kind of sharpshoot some things.
But that's what I said, your talent kind of supersedes your position.
Yes. Hold on. If he gets 15 sacks this season, hey, I hope he does. You know why? If he does,
not that nigga not.
If he does, then you listen.
The narrative definitely changes.
How is the WNBA? And I definitely get it. I know I'm about to go off the rails here. How is the WNBA 90% gay? The NBA is 0% gay. The NFL has 0 point something.
How do you know that?
Well, he's the first openly.
Hold on. But why?
That doesn't
why?
mean there's not others.
Okay, but there's no question that the WNBA is 90%. So why is it okay for that to
no
be
question
open?
that it's 90%?
Hold on. Well, that's what some WNBA players have said. They felt so ostracized by being the minority, by being a heterosexual player. She felt bullied by being on the team, because there's no question. There's no question that there's a double standard. I think as they should be. That doesn't necessarily make you. It makes you inconsistent. I guess if that makes you a hypocrite, 0% is a lie. It definitely is a lie. But these people know better. Like, hey, you know what? Here's the thing. It would change the face of the league. 0% is definitely a lie. Everywhere you go, you see somebody who has an alternative lifestyle or whatever it's okay to say right now. But you'll never see it in any major sports. No basketball, no baseball, no football. So as much as America says we're willing to accept these the LGBTQ community, why don't we accept them in sports? Why don't we accept it in boxing, in MMA? It's okay if a woman is in track or athlete, because they think that those are necessarily masculine, manly type of things anyway. So it's almost
more of an athletic problem.
Yes.
I see where you're going with that. Yes.
Yeah. So but if we're truly being progressive and putting that stuff in the rear view where it should be, then we have to be a little bit more as Carl Nassib should be able to make that announcement, and his jersey sales should be right where they were before. Because you're not supporting him as a 2.5, 2.5 sack player. You're supporting him,
but JR,
his lifestyle.
Look at it like this. Those diehards knew who Carl Nassib was.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing wise, Carl Nassib just opened the NFL to a whole new gambit of purchasing.
Okay.
You can look at it that way
This
too.
just happened last night. So look how quick that took off. Now all of a sudden he's got more jersey sales than Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Like, come on now. It's all about marketing. It's all about money.
But doesn't have more.
I like the solidarity. I like the solidarity. People saying, hey, and they can appreciate that they know this wasn't an easy thing.
Absolutely.
Because
it wasn't.
Michael Sam's definitely I'm sure that deterred a lot of players. I'm saying,
first of all, when is the last time in our history that we've seen an SEC Defensive Player of the Year get picked in like the 6th or 7th round? In our time, we've never seen that, because SEC is normally the most vaunted hardcore league in college football. Like, if you was the SEC player of the league, defensive player of the league, you was going top 2, top 3. If you went 3rd round, it was because you was undersized. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100.
So wait a minute. There's a little report that Aaron Rodgers might be okay. I don't know if Bullets is being serious, but I heard the same thing about Troy Aikman.
Man.
But you know what I thought about? You know what I thought about when they said that about Troy Aikman? I thought, who cares?
He's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. I don't care what he does in his personal life. On that field, he wins.
They said the same thing about Ron Jaworski, but who cares?
On that
field,
shit, he wins. I don't care about his private life. He wins.
Listen,
he's paid to win.
If Ron Jaworski came out right now, that would be.
Are we talking about a guy from the 70s and early 80s? Like,
we're talking about
nobody.
That's a different mindset. That's a different.
They would. His jersey would be the number 1 jerseys being sold now.
No, it wouldn't, because most people that were Ron Jaworski fans would be like, "Wait, what?" They'd be so floored. That's a different time. That's a different headspace. It really is. Think about it. I give you a slight segue because I don't want to harp on this. Think about how many people love the actor Rock Hudson until they found out his sexual preference. Nowadays, Rock Hudson would go from here to here. But back then, it was like, oh, Rock Hudson, Man of the Year, he's what?
Wait a minute. But see, that's a little bit, I guess it's a different thing, because it's really strange. If you've ever been in a theatrical artsy fartsy type production, half the people are gay. I mean, not in a bad way. That's just the truth.
It is, but that's
okay. You know why? Because it's a freer space. People can truly be who,
but now
they can be who they want to be.
Is not here, J.I. That freer space now is here.
Let me read this.
That's fine.
Part of the problem with sports stems from the demasculation of men across the board.
The demasculation of
sports like football, they equate it to manly men, so to speak. True.
That's true.
I have a problem with the demasculation word. Because when has anybody ever looked at football as anything other than masculine? And I'm not saying this, but if Aaron Donald right now came out and said, I'm gay, no, and anybody that's watching, I'm not saying Aaron Donald is. But if Aaron Donald came out and said, I'm gay,
I'm going to repeat this.
Is anybody going to get in front of Aaron Donald like, no, he's still like the best player in football, period? No, they're not. They're really not. So again, your politics, your position, that's one thing. But your production will always supersede anything. And let's switch the sexual orientation part. How many chances have felons and gun toters and just totally bad people got multiple chances because of their talent and their production? Like, come on, Michael Vick went to jail for doing something he wasn't even supposed to do. He got out and got $100 million. As long as your production supersedes your politics.
Go
back to that because I didn't get to see it. Go back to that.
Bully said something like, I don't know now. Bully said, I have family and friends. I was like, I got black friends. I mean, really? That's kind of how that sounds. Hey, wait a minute. I have friends who are gay. Everybody does. We all have had teammates that were gay.
That's fine.
They just weren't comfortable saying it because as much as society wants to
produce. I don't care if you were a Greek alien from Mars. As long as you produced, I don't care.
I've had teammates that sucked and they were gay. They just didn't come out. Like, and it doesn't really make a difference one way or the other. Because if you're saying that if you're gay,
gotta produce.
If you're gay, you gotta be a baller.
So
you can suck if you're heterosexual and that's okay.
It doesn't matter what your preference is. If you don't produce, you don't get on the field. If you don't produce, you don't stay on the court. If you don't produce, you don't stay on the baseball diamond or the ice, whatever it is. I don't care what you do, but what we're paying you for, if you do not produce, that's what you should be judged on, period, point blank.
I agree. Hold on.
I go back to the Dennis Rodman example.
You know what? Dennis Rodman was
about Dennis Rodman marrying himself. You know what I cared about?
Didn't nobody give a shit.
And then the Bulls win.
That's all that we cared
about.
I
cared about.
And even on the Last Dance, they said that he do all the shit that he wanted to do. Phil Jackson didn't give a shit about it because he produced. That's it.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Dennis Rodman looked better in his wedding dress than some women did. And kudos to Dennis for that. But guess what? I don't care because the man gave me 17 rebounds a game and we won 3 championships with him. That's all I care about. He produced. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
Thank you. I just said that, John Santino. Production should be above all else. What you do once you close your locker,
but is it
drive home?
It should be, but is it?
That's your business.
No, production should be. When you say should be, you're acknowledging without saying that it should be, but you're acknowledging that it really isn't though. It should be, but it's not.
So I'm about to rock your whole boat.
Okay.
Carl Nassib is in no different situation with him coming out being gay than Tim Tebow is coming out not playing a position that he's never played.
Wait a minute.
They're in the same boat.
Listen.
They're in the same
Hold on. I don't want to be canceled or anything. Hopefully I would feel kind of honored. I feel good enough to be like, man, this guy is great. I'm gonna say something that might make some people feel some type of way.
Go ahead.
I kind of think Tim Tebow is gay.
Why?
I do. Because hold on. if that knife cuts both ways, if who cares, why you not speaking on it?
But because see, you just said
because people would care.
That was not what I was talking about. What I was talking about was this. As long as you're like people give Tebow this like great pass, like he's just a great ultimate achiever. Hell, if Tim Tebow sucked, cut his ass. Simple. I don't care what his orientation is. If he's not producing, cut him.
But what if he's selling tickets?
Again, now you're talking about propaganda.
Tim Tebow is married?
So that.
Hold on, Dark Spectre. Check this out. Well, wait a minute. Dark Spectre is on the. Hey, well that does it then, because hey,
but
Bullet said Rock Hudson was married too.
He was right. Thank you, Bullet's right. And it made no difference once his fans found out what was going on.
How many? So does that mean that everybody that's married is happy?
See, hey,
so hold on.
That Dr. Phil Oprah stuff, man.
Hold on. So wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. So they say that as if marriage. That makes it. That makes it like a no-brainer.
Yeah, stick to what I said.
Okay.
They're in the same boat because guess what? No matter how polarizing they are or what their fanfare is, they still have to produce. If they don't produce, what is Tim Tebow but a novelty if he doesn't produce?
I agree.
What is Carl Nassib but a novelty or a figurehead for the LGBTQ plus community if he doesn't produce? He becomes a banner. He becomes a banner.
He's a pioneer, production or not now.
He becomes a banner.
Okay.
But if you don't produce, you gotta go. You gotta beat it.
I don't know.
Now, if you want to dig a little deeper, if you're selling tickets, you're selling tickets right now. Go back to Tim Tebow. Is Tim Tebow gonna make the opening day roster?
It'll be a decision based on what's best for the team, not necessarily as a whole. Not best on not best.
BS. It'll be.
You don't think he will?
It'll be dependent on how many season tickets sales they have.
That's what I mean. That's what's best for the team, business wise. I don't think he'll move the needle production wise on the field.
Absolutely not.
No.
So there's your outlier. There's your outlier.
If they thought for a moment, listen, the Bears should sign him. You sell more tickets.
Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, hold on. If you're desperate to sell tickets, the Bears don't need them because they got Justin Fields. They don't have any more tickets to sell. But but
you may not have more tickets, but you got merchandise.
Yeah,
that's endless.
Hold on, that is true.
That's endless.
The Jaguars need that.
They do, but at the same time, you're talking about a person that's 8 years removed from a professional NFL career, trying to reinvent himself in a position that he's never played. Like all that is propaganda, G. Like all that.
Wow.
Fields has the #1 selling jersey.
And again, why? Because Tebow is a novelty. He's an attraction.
He's a polarizing figure.
He's not a distraction. He's an attraction.
So that's false.
Again, like the circus coming to town. That's all this is. Again, that's all he is. He's the circus coming to town. Are we really looking at Trevor Lawrence to turn Tim Tebow into the next Kelsey or Gronkowski or Kittle? No, we're not. We're not.
I think Urban Meyer bringing Tebow in, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it because it comes to the same. It's the same dynamic and it's the same, school of thought as to why someone would watch a professional athlete compete against a YouTuber because people like that because it'll sell.
Circus coming to town.
Exactly.
That's it.
I want to see what is it? I want to see the.
That's it. That's the long and short of it. That's it. And we as fans, as hot takes, whatever we call ourselves, we have to be able to address that at any given time because guess what? the next hot story, the next hot take is what's going to be the topic of conversation, period, point blank. Because come week 3, 4, 5, I guarantee you we're not talking about Tim Tebow. We're not.
Mm-hmm.
We're if he makes the team, but we're still, let's say he's on a team. We're not talking about Tim Tebow. We're not.
All right. Well, I want to switch gears because I don't want to keep beating his dead horse.
It's not dead yet, but go ahead.
It's not dead. Let's get ready to wrap up, man. We're getting long.
Yeah, and my glass is empty. So
water. I saw that today. I said,
it is. I am drinking water.
I said, what Terrence on today? Okay, I see you.
Yep. Yeah, but my bottle is empty. So let's get our shout outs out real quick.
JR, you want to go first?
Hey, yeah. Let me shout out some of these people. I love the comments. I love the energy. Dark Spectre, John Centino, everybody that checked in. Cool Kennedy. Oh man, awesome. Love the energy. Erica, big shout out to Erica. Everybody that's coming in, making it just the energy and the everything. Just, I mean, I love it. Shout out to everybody. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's do big things.
Absolutely. I want to go ahead. I want to echo the sentiment that Jay I just said. Man, Dark Spectre, John Centino, Bullets, Cool Kennedy, like our normal people. Phil and Shane earlier. We thank you. We love you. SB, Miss Sandra, all the people that normally watch us. We thank you. We appreciate you. We love and respect you. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for y'all. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, that was quick. All right. Well, I was about to say Carl Nassib actually has the #1 selling jersey as of right now.
As of today, correct.
Yep. As of today, he has the #1 selling jersey. Justin Fields is behind him. But I do want to shout out everybody in the chat. John Centino, Dark Spectre, Bullets, CO Sun that was there earlier. Everybody else that I did not mention that was in the chat, shout out to y'all. There would be no podcast if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Appreciate you. And I will be getting those shirts to my top 5 faithfuls, like I said last week. So be looking out for that. I want to shout out my guys, JBJI. Like, there would be no podcast. It would just be me. And I can be pretty boring sometimes. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Straight up. Also, I do want to give a quick shout out to, well, not so quick, Moore's Beer, which is going to be our new sponsor. And there's another tasting. I'm letting you all know now. I'm letting everybody know right now, because everybody sees the turn-ups that the Chicago Clubhouse podcast goes to. Everything be lit. So I'm saying it right now. The Bobby Simmons Club Society is having a tasting on Saturday, this Saturday, 9:00 p.m. to 11:00 p.m. 2201 West Walnut. 2201 West Walnut. That's on the west side. Moore's Brewing Company will be having a tasting. I said it, what, twice? 3 times? So, man, if y'all didn't get it, I'm gonna post it on Facebook too. I'm gonna post it on Facebook too. You know, because people see the turn-ups, man. Like last week, the turn-up was at Bounce Sports Bar. It was dope. And Warren Sapp was there. You know, so I had people hit me up like, man, let me know about the next one. I'm letting y'all know. All right, so hopefully you will show up to that. All right. And the beer is really good. The beer is like It puts you in the mind frame of a Stella, but it's like a little more flavorful.
Okay.
It's really good beer. It's really good.
Stella's a good beer, so that's a great comparison.
Yeah, yep, definitely. And that beer is available right now at Kimbart Liquors in Hyde Park. You can also go to the Family Den on Stony. It's there.
J.I. the Den?
Yes.
And the Dandy Crown. I don't know what that is. I don't know where it is. But if you're interested, you can Google it. The Dandy Crown. It's available there. And of course, at our other sponsor, at Tilly's Pit and Pub. That's the formal name. I just call it Tilly's. But you can find it there too. They have some as well. So yeah, it's good beer. Y'all gotta try it. But definitely come to the tasting at Society on Saturday, 9 to 11. Now I said it 4 times. So I'm not gonna say it no more. Okay. So anyway, let me get to my other shouts. Lisette, like I said, appreciate you. You know, she told me that I always have at least one person viewing. Right now we have 10. So I guess maybe she's part of that 10. Appreciate you, Pops. If you watching, shout out to you. We had a great Father's Day, man. How was y'all Father's Day?
It was off the chain.
Off the chain, huh?
Real smooth. Mom set it out for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom.
That's dope. But yeah, man. So it was a great day with Pops. We went to a place called Theo's Seafood, Indiana, Highland, Indiana. Y'all ever heard of it?
Yeah, it's on Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay, but you know, one thing that bothered me, they kept running out of shit. You know, like how you a damn seafood restaurant, y'all ain't got no salmon. What the fuck is that? We don't have any salmon. We don't have any steak. Like, what the fuck? You're a steak and seafood place. So why don't you have that? So that really disappointed me. But still we had a good dinner despite no salmon, no steak. It was pretty good. But we got to spend some family time, so that was good. But anyway, shout out to Pops. Shout out to Miss Sandra. Definitely shout out Miss Sandra. Another faithful. And who else? Who am I forgetting? Tape Never Lies. Tape Never Lies Network, Phil and Shane, and Cool Kennedy. That's who I was forgetting. CK, my boy, I appreciate you, brother. And Edith. I definitely appreciate Edith. We went to school together when we were like from nursery school, 8th grade. So I've known her for a while. And she's been playing violin since then. But definitely shout out to Edith. Next week, Warren Sapp. Next week. And then we also have Slick. I would sing his songs right now, but I'm not really a good singer. So I'm not. But if you're really interested, you can go look him up, or better yet, just tune in next week and you'll hear some of his music. And we have a project coming up. We have a stepping stream coming up on Twitch. It's called Sip and Step Sundays. So I mean, for all y'all anybody that steps in the chat, if you know somebody that step, let them know. But We about to start that up on July 11th, Sunday, July 11th. So stay tuned for that. But I think that's about it. I think that's about it. So I guess I'm gonna go replenish my water and shit. Yeah, that show is gonna be fire.
It is.
It's gonna be fire. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Absolutely.
Because it is gonna be great. And I know JI and JB already, I know they're gonna bring the thunder and lightning, but not too much because Warren Sapp, he's a real colorful character, and he'll whoop your ass through the screen if you say the wrong thing. He'll fuck you up. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go replenish my water and holla at you later. For my man Ji, who knows nothing and everything at the same goddamn time. My man JB, who knows every single stat from every single team since the 90s. I'm the point guard, quarterback, and the coolest dude in the room. But I'm the only dude in the room. This is the podcast where we think we know everything, but we don't know shit. But we out. Peace.